Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are live. Welcome, one and all. Boys, girls, ladies, gentlemen, thing one and thing two. I was reading Dr. Seuss to my daughter tonight to put her to bed. We are here, the Wild Bunch. I am Jason Almy. Jay was here, not Jeff. Jay was here, and I am joined by a couple of fellas who you already know. I'm going to introduce them to you anyway. We got Brian from Last Movie Standing. And I'm also joined by Chase from AVA Pop Culture, man. How are y'all doing?
What up? I'm good.
What's up, everybody?
It is my honor to host our inaugural Wild Bunch feature film commentary. I got to tell you, I'm beyond thrilled.
It's going to be fun. That is the perfect name for this crew.
Yeah.
It is. I don't know what you guys brought to drink, but I got a couple more of these snowstorms left. I figured this is perfect. Cold one for watching the film Iced.
I just got some Coca-Cola in a cup right now.
I have mystery beverage.
I'm not drinking Nos.
I'm double fisting mystery beverage and sparkling water.
I was about to say, should I go get some Crown for this and make it fun?
You should definitely get some Crown for this and make it fun. 100%. I would definitely endorse that. 100%. I'm wearing a dumb hat to make it fun. We're here to have fun. And well, Brian's gone. Should we talk shit because he doesn't like iced? Or
yeah, he does. Brian is the one. He's the youngin' that doesn't appreciate the finer art.
I'm sorry I didn't grow up in the 1700s when this movie came out with you guys.
You should have grown up in the 1700s. We used to look at porn on papyrus. It's awesome.
We chiseled it on trees.
I had the first edition of the Kama Sutra. That was what we called entertainment back then. I met Shakespeare. He signed my first edition. Anyway, you guys already know we're watching the film Ice tonight. I like to start with a little preamble just to kind of let people start clicking into the live. That way I don't get like rip roaring into the movie and people miss the first couple of minutes. But hopefully you fine viewers out there have seen the film Iced because we're going to ruin the shit out of it tonight.
Yes, we
you
are.
haven't seen it before, yeah. Spoilers ahead, okay? I've done my due diligence. We're watching the film. You're going to be watching it at least partially with us. So, yeah, spoilers for the film.
Yeah, spoiler. That's the spoiler warning. So don't come crying later.
Yeah, report me to YouTube. Do it. I don't care.
So you guys like grew up watching this, right? Like y'all remember seeing this growing up?
Yes. Yep. I remember renting this. Yep.
Did you rent this? You had I have never seen this film before Vinegar Syndrome put it out. Like I'd never watched it. I'd heard tale of it. I had seen it as a youth in the video store. I never rented it. Like I walked past the cover a few times, but
yeah. Well, I had the benefit of my brother is 4 years older than me, so like you have that working, and then my dad was like, if it was a B movie, like horror movie, in like everything in the, like we used to rent from this place called View and Chew Video. And like the snacks up at the front counter, that was the Chew, and the View. We picked your movies, so you picked them all by cover art, and that's how I remember seeing it. And I'm going to say that I probably watched a lot of these movies like this ahead of my friends my age because of my brother and my dad. So, if you're 10 and your brother's 14, you're 9 and he's 13, you're going to see some stuff ahead of time.
You were the cool kid. You were the cool kid.
Yeah, I think that's how I grew up with most of my movies too, because my sister's 12 years older than me, and she had the collection. Like, I was like finding The Rock on VHS as a kid and all those movies like that. So, what year
did The Rock come out? 97?
I think it was 97. Yeah,
I think it was 96.
Okay, 90.
I wasn't even 10.
Would have been a senior in high school. So,
plus or minus 12 months is my degree of error.
Yeah. God, you're finding that as a kid. I just went.
I know,
bro. I know. I don't know why we're here to talk about Ice, but that shower scene in The Rock, when I saw that at like 10 years old, that was like some Freddy Krueger. Like that was horror shit. That was like some realistic, scary shit.
No shit.
Hmm.
I haven't seen that movie in the 10 years, at least 10 years.
Yeah.
So
I
my
showed it to
video
my
didn't work
wife.
for you.
I want to say I showed it to my wife. It's probably been 6 or 7 years since I showed it to my wife. I got the Criterion DVD.
I got the Criterion DVD of Armageddon.
Yeah, I got that one too.
I don't own a single Criterion DVD.
I think I have 3. I just found out the Chasing Amy DVD I have the Criterion.
That one's out of print too.
Is it?
That's a good one to hang on to. I got my first Criterion. It was Seven Samurai, and I believe it was 1999 when I got that from a Media Play location in East Cobb.
Media
Cobb
Play.
County, Marietta.
Yes.
Yeah, you remember Media Play?
Oh yeah, I remember Media Play.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I got a few Harry Potter books from that location too. That was pretty sick. Like I got hooked up with like fucking Goblet of Fire or Order of Fire or whatever the Phoenix of Fire was, and fucking Seven Samurai. I was like 18. I was like fucking Harry Potter and samurai and shit.
Harry Potter and Seven Samurai off to go.
I have eclectic tastes. I will admit.
Me too.
It sounds like a Zack Snyder Netflix movie.
Yeah, I saw that. Rebel Moon.
Oh yeah.
Oof,
That was rough.
that wasn't good.
That was not good.
It was not good.
I didn't know how long you could shoot somebody cutting wheat in my life until that movie came out.
I only saw the second one. I skipped the first one entirely, and I watched the second one, and that's it. I never went back and saw the first one. I just wasn't interested.
I didn't even go back and see the rated R ones where they put in more blood and nudity in it.
My main complaint is how they make that girl look so ugly. Like they took one of the most beautiful actresses. If you ever see pictures of her at like red carpet events and stuff, it's like they took a beautiful actress and then they just made her so hideous for that movie. Like they made her like pit stains and stuff. She just looks smelly.
It stinks.
She even looked good in Kingsman, and she was dressed in a suit the whole time.
I know. It was a shame what they did to that girl.
Yeah, they gave her. It was the haircut.
It was the haircut. The haircut was terrible. She looked like Butthead's haircut from Beavis and Butthead. It was terrible because it was like buzzed around the ears and stuff. I'm like, what? I can understand how that would be functional from like a martial arts kind of fighting standpoint. You kind of want the hair to be out of your way, but it's definitely
no. But you can give her like a Celine haircut, like in Underworld. They gave Kate Beckinsale like that dope ass.
Oh yeah, like the stack, like
yes,
thing.
yes. There's ways around it to where you don't got to give him a boy cut.
I think it's actually impossible though. Like I think it's like physics dictates. I think Albert Einstein said something about this decades ago. I think it's actually scientifically impossible to make Kate Beckinsale look bad though.
It's very difficult.
I don't think it's actually possible to make her look bad. So,
it's very possible for her to be in a bad movie though.
Yes.
Oh, very possible. She done that.
The movie, I just had it on my list. I barely could make it through it. The upstairs room, or what's it called?
Oh, the Disappointments Room.
Disappointments Room.
Oh God, that's awful, bro.
But yeah,
that is awful.
Sounds like a disappointment movie.
It is. Yeah, it's a perfect title for the movie. It's so bad.
It's so bad. It is so bad. Like that's one that I tapped out on trying to make a list. Like I just kind of got to a certain point and it was like skim a little forward.
I watched the whole thing. I was like, I got to do it for Kate, and it was
that
sad.
actually raises a question that I would pose to you gentlemen as well as our viewers that we might touch on at the end as we're kind of wrapping up after we've watched ICED. But do you guys feel like obviously you're talking about Disappointment Room, which I've never seen. It sounds awful. This movie ICED that we're about to watch is also, objectively, it's a pretty bad movie. But like, what makes them good, like enjoyable, and just like bad, like just not good, not enjoyable? It's just bad. Like this movie's bad, but I'll watch it once a year. ICED, but like something like Disappointment Room is just a turn. Like Rebel Moon, I'm not gonna watch that again.
Well, this has that nostalgia factor, which I can't attest to, but I can appreciate it. Like y'all grew up with, or like Chase grew up with it. You never seen it, but you grew up in that age where it was still these kind of movies.
Yeah, for sure.
The same way I can watch any bad 80s movie and be like, granted, and I didn't really care for this one, but any 80s movie, and people be like, oh, it might be dated for you. I mean, I've seen plenty of 80s movies for the first time like a year ago. It's not going to affect my viewing experience.
I think part of it is movies like this. The Disappointments Room takes itself very seriously. It's trying to be very serious. This doesn't take itself seriously. I mean, it has a, spoiler alert, it has a guy getting ran over by a,
all I kept thinking was
to move out of the way, and he doesn't move.
Dude had 10 minutes to move, too.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, no, I'm getting run over.
It's coming.
He could have gotten up slowly. He could have, like my grandpa could have gotten out of the way of that fucking thing,
I just kept getting reminded of the scene from like in Austin Powers where the guy wouldn't move, or in with it Deadpool with the Zamboni.
Yeah. But I think that's it. If the movie, if they are enjoying it and they're doing it for fun and they're not trying to take themselves seriously and pinkies up, smell their farts, be the greatest of cinema, then you can have fun right along with them. It's when they try to take themselves so seriously and it's like, guys, you suck and you're trying to be serious, just have fun with it. That I think maybe for me that's part of the difference.
I think that's a good point. I think that's a very valid point. I think it's about not necessarily trying to impress somebody or trying to like, I got a message that I need to tell the world. I got to tell everybody what's what. I need to educate these unwashed masses. Is more like, hey man, I'm out here just trying to have a wild time, and I just let's have a wild time together with the movie Iced is kind of the moral of that story. I thought this was a wild movie and a ton of fun, and I
thought the brunette was the only. I thought the brunette was the only redeeming thing about this movie.
Oh, you mean
Lisa Loring?
Lisa Loring passed away 2 years ago, didn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. R.I.P. We'll watch this one in her honor.
All right, tell me when to hit play.
All right, let's do it. 3, 2, 1. Hit that play button. All right.
Ooh.
I will say I do love every time he's on camera the fog machine behind him throughout the whole movie. I love that.
There's so much fog in this movie. Even at the end, it's like inside the house. It's like in the cabin. I'm like, who the fuck brought the dry ice into the cabin? I got to put it out later. Homeboy's like crawling with the gun, and there's like fog coming out behind him, like as he's going up the steps. I'm like, I've been to plenty of cabins. I've been to ski chalets and I've never had fog follow me up the stairs.
In the director's commentary, he talked about bringing the fog machine everywhere and shooting the fog everywhere. So they were definitely down to bring in fog.
I wonder if this was a stylistic decision or more of a like, let's kind of cover for our kind of maybe like shitty backgrounds, and like maybe a little bit of fog will kind of like people won't be able to see how poorly we've dressed the set or whatever.
Oh, fog is definitely. Yeah, I did that with my first feature film. I used fog like crazy to give, about production value. Fog is an easy production value.
Mm-hmm. Well, for listening to him, he really wanted it to be scarier. Like he really wanted to go for super moody, atmospheric, like he kept using the word grisly. I wanted it to be very grisly, and they just didn't have the budget because 2/3 of the budget went to film and processing film and editing film.
But I say you said this was shot on what, 16 millimeter?
Yeah, the director said 16 mil.
And the only surviving thing was the VHS tape or something?
Yeah, apparently they didn't have the 16 millimeter prints or negatives of it. So we're getting the VHS transfer here.
That's been my only complaint really about this movie is I kind of wish it looked a little bit better like some of Vinegar Syndrome's others. They've rescued other stuff from 16 millimeter before. I think Terror at 10 Killer was 16 millimeter, right?
Yeah, but they actually had the 16 millimeter print on that. They literally made this from a VHS tape source. So
yeah, but I'm also thinking with technology now, it's like what they did with Blair Witch Project. Granted, they had the original high 8 tapes. I figured it would have looked a little better than this because we are watching the Blu-ray, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And believe me, it looks like a VHS.
It looks very much like a VHS.
Yeah.
And that I gotta say here with Jeff, and we chatted about this for a second before. They are they're kind of assholes to him from
Oh,
the
yeah.
like from the start. And the girl there, she definitely takes a little advantage of old Jeff. Like,
No.
I'm just gonna say, if we're going up to a ski cabin for the weekend and you hitch a ride along with me and it's just me and you and we're gonna be up there together, I'm definitely thinking something different than what she's thinking.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from, but I honestly like the way this movie begins, where it just like jumps into that action. It doesn't show them, it doesn't like establish their dynamic at all. It just jumps right to
It jumps
these
right.
two
Yeah.
dudes.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I knew a guy like that in college. I've been like dying to tell you guys about this the last couple of days, but like saving it for this. But like we knew a guy who was just, he was a lot like this dude. He even looked like Jeff. And he just had this like social awkwardness where I don't know if like he assumed things that weren't real, but like, it was difficult to have him around because he thought he was dating girls, or like, yo, like I told him we were just friends. Like all he did was drive me home from a bar one time or whatever. Like, it wasn't like that. And he ended up getting kicked out of school because he got like violent at one point with somebody.
Oh,
They were
wow.
like, you're out of here. He made threats or some shit.
Agreed.
Picked him out. We pissed in his tequila though. He was keeping his tequila in we had a homemade kegerator. It was a refrigerator that we drilled a hole in, but it still had a freezer. And so people would put their, we would keep our spirits in the freezer part. He got pissy because we were drinking, he didn't want to share his tequila, but he wanted to keep it in our freezer, indefinitely and just have it there when he came over. But I'm like, dude, like you're going to get mad at me for taking a shot of your tequila because it's like a $50 bottle. So we urinated in his tequila and put it in the freezer. And like, if you don't want me to drink in it, I'm gonna piss in it. And he came back and he drank it and he had no idea.
Did y'all
Nice.
like draw dicks on his face when he slept and shit?
No, he never passed out here. I never had the opportunity. I would have drawn more than dicks. I would have like gotten his shirt, like gotten his chest, and drawn two dudes fucking on his chest. That's what I would have done with a Sharpie.
Have y'all noticed watching this that they're just going through the same path over and over again?
Yeah.
Well, so see, this is when I was watching the director's commentary on this. This is when before he tells a couple minutes later, but just watching this scene, I knew he didn't know, he had never done anything and he didn't know what to do. This is the first ever action they shot in sequence. So of the movie, they shot so beginning to the end, they shot the movie in sequence, and he had only ever shot a couple of student films, and his director of photography had never filmed anything. And they're trying to get all this. He's like, well, it's difficult because, we blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, no, dude, you just didn't know where to put the camera and like how to move it and cut the shots and up high and down low and passing by and, different things, POVs, and mix it. Just like he kept complaining, like these scenes where everybody's talking inside, he's like, it felt very soap opera-y, and he's like, it's because the script had so much dialogue in it. And so, it's just a bunch of people standing and they're talking. So it's like a soap opera. I'm like, no, it looks like a soap opera because you shoot mostly wides. It's overlit and you just let people walk in and stand in groups and talk in a line and like move back out. He doesn't know how to shoot coverage. He doesn't go in for over the shoulders or two shots or anything. It's just a lot of this. Like a wide shots.
I felt the soap opera kind of influence as well. And it's interesting, like your commentary on like the visual similarity, the link to like soap operas visually is great. I thought it was like mostly like the way they focused on kind of the interpersonal relationships between the characters. Because there's a lot of time where people aren't getting killed, and there's like a lot of time in this movie where they're showing kind of the interpersonal dynamic, especially when we pick up 4 years later, which I love. I love the fact that they're like, they're showing us all these friends now, and then later they're going to pick up with them, after 4 years, they've all graduated, but they're still kind of trying to keep their social group together. I just love the kind of melodramatic sort of soap opera-ish, like dynamic to the narrative. I love it. To me, it's like one of the best parts of this movie is just how like fucking cheesy it is with like the soap opera narrative part.
Well,
Yeah, I think going back to what Chase was saying, I think, or you were saying, I think it would have been better for me if they would have had an opening to the movie. They didn't have an opening where you see them, like, I guess, driving up to the cabin. In this part, like, this will come around later, but I was like, I kept thinking this guy was like loony the whole
Yeah,
film.
I thought he was talking to himself this whole scene. It's like he's talking to someone, but you never get like the cross shot because that's part of the surprise for the end.
Yeah.
But because they never do any like over the shoulder shot listening to him, it's like he's just talking, like no one's even pushed into the table. Like someone
it's like nobody's at the table.
Well, see, like right here, you could have added so much like mystery and intensity if you'd have cut into like a tighter on his face from a different angle, like see, like just go across his eyes and like see him like focusing in on who he's talking to. Cut the shots of him like cracking peanuts with like different stuff. Like just they're just like, oh no, sit here and say your shit.
I can appreciate if you're going to have a long shot to really like let an actor like kind of flex nuts a little bit. Like he can go for a long shot and like he can, you know, you can see this like emotional arc over the course of the shot. And, you know, there's like, it's really performance based, but like, obviously this is not it. Right. I mean,
yeah. And they started wider. They started with like a dolly in, so you could see even more of the scene.
I love that arm wrestling. This is such like a genuine way to flirt. Like when you're like flirting with somebody, it's like you're gonna arm wrestle. You can do all that cutesy shit, like anything to touch the person. You know what I mean?
And he can hear everything.
Oh yeah,
that was a better shot. That push in made sense because like it's getting to him as he's listening. Like so that
he didn't even knock. He just ran through.
He ran right in. I love how he runs in and he just goes, "You fuckers!" Like she laughs too. She thought it was funny as well.
This is where I think she could, like, no matter what their dynamic was before, they could have been a little cooler here. It's like a couple hours ago, you rode here with me, and like, you could be just like, hey, like,
but
no, she's kind of like,
I think if she had been a little bit more sensitive to the situation where it's like, yo, I didn't lead this guy on, but also like I'm getting the sense that he's socially a little bit. Look at her, like the dude gets hit and she fights the guy off. Like, fucking A, that broad has more testosterone than her future husband here does. He lays back on the bed and she's like fucking like jacked and ready to go.
I was about to say she saved his life.
This was their real hotel. So like they had a problem filming because like they were yelling and stuff and people were trying to figure out what was wrong.
Oh yeah.
This is just like where the cast was. This was their real rooms. So
I like something about that. There's something about like that, you know, filming on location, doing it like guerrilla style where, you know, maybe the people around you don't even know that you're producing a film. They just hear like screaming and they're like, damn, like that couple is fighting or whatever. Like I like the idea of doing it real. It has almost a more like cinema veritas feel to it when it's just kind of done in the moment. And this guy's fucking, I love it.
That's the same hotel room. That's the same hotel room.
Look at this. He's like holds the fucking thing up like
he put his Mortal Kombat mask on and he's just like,
he's fucking Sub-Zero, dude.
Yeah.
Get over here.
Yeah. I like how the dude's like, it's starting to snow, man. Like forget the fact that you just took my $400 skis.
Yeah, and then this guy who tells him again, like, bro, you shouldn't go up there.
And now he's got both. Like he only ever had one like ski pole earlier. Now he has them both.
He only grabbed one.
No, I love this scene. Hold on. I love this scene, how it just jump cuts to them like fully naked here in a second.
Yeah,
it does. It does.
It's just like we're talking with our clothes on, cut fully
This
naked.
is actually one of the, like, when I first watching this movie, I was like, whoa, like this is, it's not just like a little, like, here's a little boobie for the kids, like for the 13-year-old boys. Like, it was like, whoa, like this is, they're really getting it on. And I actually didn't test the this fair use cover against this sex scene. It was actually the one with Lisa Loring. So you guys watching on YouTube, you might be in for a little bit of a surprise.
It's about to jump cut.
Yeah.
There you go.
YouTube doesn't see that. It's okay. I have a fair use cover. It didn't work. It's sort of like the condom breaking. Like, but I wore a condom. It did break, but I wore it.
She still got her pants on. He's still fully clothed, and then
smash cut to they are both.
So they're both fully, completely naked.
I do also love like the next jump cut is like they're in a chair. She's just riding him in like a regular like wicker. Like doesn't look comfortable at all. I don't know if you guys have ever tried to have sex in like a wooden chair like that. It does not look comfortable at all.
That particularly didn't look comfortable. Here he's clearly just dry humping her leg.
Yes. But that's a.
But say, where did his goggles
popular in the 80s?
Where did his goggles come from? Because he didn't take them with him.
Mm-mm.
He didn't have them when he left.
He did not have them when he left. I do love those goggles. I got to get some red goggles like that.
He just he does the same shot from earlier.
That scene,
like, right here, they are a shadow away from.
Yeah, but look.
I would like to formally apologize to all the Christians in the live stream right now who are watching this and feel violated. I'm very sorry.
His death scene cracks me.
His death looks
right here. He's like,
what's like? That's not even the part that cracks me up. He
rolls off.
He rolls off, and then it's like, okay, look, wait for it. Wait for it. There's the blood. It's coming out from under his back.
Yeah.
Oh, and
it's like maybe it's running down the front of him, like if he
it's like from his jacket's not even got a hole poked in. Like where's the puncture?
He just ruptured his appendix and just fucking immediately died. I dig it though, because you hear him roll off the brick and he goes, like that. Like he just exhales his ghost. It's just he's dead.
All I'm wondering though is how they did that, because based on what y'all were saying, they did all this for real. I'm like, those weren't like rubber rocks. I'm sure he jumped on real rocks and just was padded to the max.
Yeah. Or I don't know. That's a good question.
The director did say it was the actor that did that. But I don't know if they were real rocks or styrofoam or what they were, but he did say that they didn't have a stunt man to do that.
I like the idea too that like everybody's like, hey, you shouldn't go up there. It's snowing and shit. And it's not the snow that kills him. It's just like, hey, there's a fucking rock.
There.
Yeah. Giant fucking rock. That was always there, bro. Like the best.
And he just went down that same path with Homeboy like 5 seconds earlier.
Yeah.
Notice this.
Skiing is dangerous.
The POV shots, the sky is blue, but then like when the interior where they're filming them talking, it's super cloudy and overcast.
Yeah.
The director's like, yeah, we messed up because we went back and got the POV shots for the ride and it was sunny. He's like, it drives me crazy every time I see the movie. And I'm thinking, that's all that drives you crazy about the
Yeah, but that's something nobody would really notice. Like we notice it. I didn't even notice it the first time until you pointed it out. But yeah, no, that's a thing. That would bug the shit out of me too if I was doing it. I'd be like, we're gonna wait a year and then I'm gonna go back when it's foggy.
So these days they could fix it.
Go ahead.
They're literally driving off like by a cliff right now.
I
also feel like Corey here, the husband, the now husband, he really like this scene is the only scene, but he really like he looks like what's his face? He looks like a Temu version of Rowdy Piper or something.
I can see it. Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are catching that or not.
It's the flannel.
I think it's the flannel. Which is why I'm wearing my flannel tonight. I did that just for ICED. Put on my flannel.
That haircut and then that haircut.
That haircut. I love that haircut.
I love that haircut.
All the way right there, baby.
I fucking love that haircut. You know why I love that haircut? A, it's because I grew up with it. But B, it's like you can see there was a vast amount of effort she put into getting her hair to fucking do that. And you have to appreciate like A for effort.
I agree.
I'm not the biggest fan of bangs in general. Like some girls can really pull it off. I don't think she can pull off the bangs.
Oh, the blonde.
Yeah.
That doesn't suit her face. That rock's more like a mullet than bangs.
Yeah.
It seems to me more like a mullet almost.
She definitely has like a good bit of testosterone, like high test broad, which no problem with, right? Because she can clearly defend herself and her man. But
Clearly.
I think it's, like the shape of her face and everything. Like she's not. You look at Lisa Loring here, and she's got those higher cheekbones. Her nose is perfect.
She
Nostrils.
also got makeup on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was doing a lot of cocaine back in the 80s with those huge nostrils. She could just hoover that shit right up. But
She
much more feminine.
Wednesday Addams, like that. It's like she wanted to kind of shape that, so she started doing some movies like this.
Yeah, she worked in porn for a while, but she didn't do she wasn't getting fucked on the camera. She was doing like makeup and shit because she got a husband.
Really?
She married a dude that was like a porn actor dude, and so she was like doing backstage work. Like she was like writing the porns and doing the makeup and shit. She was like helping shave the cooters and stuff and make sure everything was good. I think she waxed a few buttholes. So,
Nice.
Fluffer.
A fluffer. That's what
oh God. I mean, it was her husband. She could totally fluff her husband. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I know what he likes.
Yeah.
Here we're about to witness our first
This guy.
our first murder,
This guy.
our second death. It's like the deaths in this movie just keep getting better. Like I love Jeff's death. I do love Jeff's death. It's so stupid. It's excellent. I also love seeing the
whole cigarette.
Oh yeah, the ashtray in the 80s. Like anybody now, they're like, what is that they're doing in there?
Yeah.
This dude ran straight into that fucking wall.
It's like try telling your kids that like that's a cigarette lighter. They're like the thing that I plug my phone charger into. That's the phone charging port. You're like, no, that thing lights cigarettes.
No,
like,
but I remember my first car had an ashtray in it.
Yeah, mine did too.
And
Mine
this was like
Laser.
late 90s.
Dude, the cars used to have ashtrays in the armrest and in the back, back like the back of the seat. Like if you're sitting in the back, it was on the back of the seat in front of you.
Yeah, I found a booster seat for 4-year-olds from the 1970s. It's vintage. It was in one of these like vintage shops, and the booster seat had an ashtray in it actually for the 4-year-old to ash their cigarettes in. It was wild in the 70s. I'm telling you.
I love that.
This guy's watching it like,
look how far away it is.
Look how far away. Yeah.
He's like, oh, this guy will help me with my.
And then he's like, oh shit. It's like the Austin Power thing. That's all I see.
Yes.
if you can't get out of the way in this much time,
just roll.
Like,
Yeah, all you got to do is roll out the way. And then when they cut to the tire, it's not even moving.
No, it's not. But he turns into a greasy smear. I love the chunks of, just that's good. I love that.
But that's somebody who got drugged like a long way with the body.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's just totally like we don't know who that guy is really. It's 4 years later. He just shows up with his mustache and his cigarette and gets killed.
It's Lisa Loring's like boyfriend or whatever. Yeah. It's the one she's like fretting about the whole rest of the movie. But he wasn't. I don't remember him from the scene 4 years earlier, the opening scene. But I just assume he was one of the guys partying.
Unless that was the guy with the mustache that he stole the skis from.
Maybe. Yeah, he's like, it's snowing outside. What are you doing?
Somebody's in the house.
So the intro scene, 4 years earlier, that was set on like New Year's Eve or something. I see a wreath on the wall there that looks kind of Christmassy. Like, when do we think this is taking place?
Isn't that, there's a snowflake right there on the door.
Yeah, I don't know.
I had kind of assumed that it was taking place in like the January, February, kind of like this time of year.
It was filmed in January, they said.
Yeah. Yeah, it started filming January 5th or something like that. And the only thing that would have made this movie better, and I do mean the only thing that would have made this movie better, is if they filmed it in Maine instead of Utah.
No, or she was naked the whole time.
Yeah, that would also have made the movie better, for sure.
She's by far the best actress overall, too.
By far, yeah. And she's dirty too. Like later when we get to the thing, she's just talking to the dude, and then they cut to the dream sequence, and then they cut back, and then they cut to the dream sequence. I'm like, that's her dreaming of them in the tub together.
That's what I was wondering. Like it would have to be her dream because he's got a leg in the dream. I mean, we can obviously we talk about it when we get there, but
Hmm.
this guy too. I mean, this is like, I really kind of like this character because it's like the guy that nobody really likes now, but they keep him around because it's like, like he was part of the crew 4 years ago when we were in college. Like nobody really likes him now because he's got a gun and he's on cocaine, and everyone's like, hey, we're trying to be adults and you're still trying to live like you're 22, and we're like doctors and shit and lawyers and trying to, have a family and stuff and get married and be mature and responsible. And he's obviously the character who is like still living that sort of almost kind of pathetically still trying to live this life of 4 years ago, 5 years ago. And it made me kind of feel for the character a little bit that he couldn't get out of that.
The guy who peaked in high school.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
With his rat tail slash.
Well, I was about to say he still didn't cut the ponytail.
He needs to cut that thing though.
That's not
He's got
quite
the Hawaiian shirt on.
It's Hawaiian, yeah, I was about to say
A Hawaiian shirt to fucking. That guy is the guy who's like, I gotta contradict everything. Fuck all you people. Invite me to some ski chalet. I'm dressing like it's Hawaii. Invite me to Hawaii, and I'm gonna fucking wear a sweater the whole time.
I love these long. Just is she eating a carrot?
I thought she was eating a sausage the first time I saw this. Like, she just straight up getting like a knockwurst and just fucking downing this knockwurst.
A carrot and a glass of wine.
I thought she was gonna say some like dialogue about like that's the secret to being skinny with big boobs is you eat German sausage. But yeah,
look how she's like, she's like they did that on purpose.
She knows what she's doing.
For sure. She didn't even peel that thing. Look at that fucking thing.
This is what I mean though. It's like, okay, we've got 4 people in this scene that all have to say lines. What's the quickest and dumbest ass way to get it? Well, let's just put them all 4 in
the shot together,
together and have them say their lines.
Trying to save film, apparently.
But then he's like, "Why does it?" The director's like, "I don't know why this scene turned out so bad. I don't like the way that looks." I'm like, "Cause you shot it like shit.
You didn't get any coverage. You got the one angle and then moved on."
She's just that fucking detail of the food processor, though. Yeah. Like, what we need to see a close up of is those fucking beets getting fucking pureed.
She's just standing in the kitchen doing curls,
right?
I know. And look at the composition of this shot too. Always struck me. She's like standing over her almost, like she's looming a little larger because she's closer to the camera, but the camera angle also has her almost looking, kind of taller than her. And like, she's like lifting weights and she's like, yeah, cut those fucking onions, bitch. You better make this fucking dinner for me. I'm going to fucking, again, she's got like the high test and she's like, I'm the fucking head honcho of this bitch.
The camera guy right there has to be standing on something for some odd reason, shooting down on him. Slightly.
Yeah.
You can see where the light is. Look at the
right there in the, see it in the refrigerator.
It was an odd choice of angle for the two of them to be framed like that, but I thought it made the what's her name? Something DeLise. I can't remember her. The DeLise is the actress's last name for the blonde. Yeah, the high testosterone, the Arnold Schwarzenegger lady. It was odd. It was an odd choice to make her seem so much larger than Wednesday over here.
That's a head of hair, man.
I'm just staring at her massive nails, bro.
Yeah,
dude.
Damn.
I mean, this girl definitely got the memo on the 80s for sure. Like, she was in it. Like, I think the 80s are beloved, obviously, and we look back on them. Look at it. He didn't even clean up the greasy street.
The same shot.
No cops in this movie.
I'm about to say it's snowing where they are, but down the street where he is, it's totally fine.
I guess nobody drove past that. Nobody's like, hey, that's my friend's car. Hey, that's my friend's leg.
And wasn't he driving on the wrong side of the road?
It's so
maybe, but I do that shit up here when it's like snowy. I'm like, I drive wherever the fuck I want. Like wherever looks the clearest, I'm driving.
See, like all this is clear, but over there, that one spot, it's like covered in snow, made him run into the side of the.
I did not like this character, not her, the boyfriend or husband, the doctor.
This guy, yeah.
I think it was obvious that they had kind of written an angle that they'd left out, that he was a closeted homosexual, because she tries to get him to have sex with her multiple times throughout this film, and he's just like, bitch, I ain't having it. I'm a fucking doctor. I gotta keep my dick dry.
Bro, I think we'll get to that later. Okay, I think somebody else is a closet homosexual too in this movie. Who does he look like? Does he look like the bad guy from Die Hard to you, just with glasses? You know, the one guy who killed his brother.
Blonde dude, yeah,
Yeah,
it kind of does. Like, but smaller. Because I remember that blonde dude being kind of like a thick German guy who's like,
yeah.
you know.
He was much bigger and buffer.
This is definitely a little homoerotic here too, because he's like, let's just fucking lay together. Like we've been frolicking, and let me just
Brokeback Mountain in here.
Yeah, let me just recline on you.
I was like, I've been snowboarding a bunch of times with dudes, and I've never no, his head is right there.
It's right, yeah. It's like, let me rest my head on your lap. You know? I mean, the way they look.
Let me put this snow all over my face.
I mean, this is like the most intimate moment in the entire film between two characters, like besides the sex scenes.
Yeah, like he's just got
like
head in the lap, touching each other.
I think he's trying to set up a threesome for like, hey, you know, like me and my wife, like just in case we get lonely. You know, the bed's pretty big. You want to make it 3?
We'll get some extra action going on. We'll tag in and out.
Yeah, they're way too intimate right now. And let's add alcohol on top of it.
Exactly. Like, you know, you need that to like get rid of your inhibitions.
Like, here, baby, take it. You'll need it.
Yeah. If you're going to fuck your college friend, you're going to need this alcohol.
I gotta style my rat tail. Hold on.
I would be married right now if it weren't for that guy.
I'd be married right now.
If it weren't for that.
Trina still talks about that all the time. The guilt thing.
You could do a whole video analyzing how homoerotic this scene is with the ski poles and.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's got the cowboy hat on. I mean, actually, he's stealing your drip, Chase. I'm telling you, you got the fucking glasses. You need that fucking coat. In fact, I want that fucking coat.
Yeah, I need that coat to go with my glasses and my cowboy hat.
Like, forget the fact that he's like frolicking with his male friend here, but like that coat is fucking sick with that fringe, that like fur fringe and shit across the shoulders. Like, dude,
get you a turtleneck.
Dude, all the dudes and half the women would fucking love to like lay on that coat.
Here we go with the.
Like you wouldn't see the guy.
I actually like the PO. I like these POV shots and the shots where it zooms in on the eyes. I actually really like those shots.
I do too.
Yeah, I do too. I just think it's funny. It's like,
but I love how inconsistent, and we'll get to it later, where they cut back to the close up of his eyes and his glasses aren't broken.
No shit.
Yeah, there's one where they're not broken. Or they didn't look broken.
I just like how he's wearing like pretty bright blue outfit and he's like 25 yards away just watching, and it's like you wouldn't see this dude.
Nobody's
wearing blue. He's not even wearing like white camo or something.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's having PTSD flashbacks all this time. You know?
This guy looks like he's fucking 22 and he's having like flashbacks. Like I remember I shone a flashlight on a dead guy once.
Dude, the acting here is so bad. It's so bad.
I thought she was gonna start beatboxing for a minute. I was like, dude, guys, come on. Like I know you worked hard to include a little bit of diversity. I appreciate it, but like
that's literally like the P. That's the PA. The actress who's supposed to do this quit, and that's the PA who had to learn her line in 5 minutes.
Yeah. I got it. The director's right though. He's like looking back at it. He's like every scene is just way too lit. Like anywhere. I'm like, yeah, dude, you can see like
the shadows everywhere.
The shadows, the top, like everything is just.
When you think like this off, like this is supposed to be his office. Like I would think there'd be a little bit more like.
This is like an office in a porn movie.
It does well. It looks like a very unrealistically lit office.
Mm-hmm.
I would just expect a little bit. I mean, even in the 80s, I would expect a little bit more fluorescent kind of filling in, and you wouldn't see those shadows up against the wall because you've got those overhead fluorescent bulbs that would run like lengthwise. It definitely didn't look like a real office.
No. Just put a plant in the corner right there and we'll be fine. People will believe it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, there's the plant over
It's
here.
probably the same plant right there.
Yeah.
He's been here 5 seconds. He's already bored.
Getting a little bit late for that. What do you say we
It's
just-
getting late for that. I came to the mountain not to ski, but to fucking see my room.
Mm-hmm.
Look at those nails. How do you
I
think?
know.
Every time I see women with nails like this, I'm thinking, how do you wipe your ass?
I think that too. Like you're definitely not picking your nose with those things. How you gonna get the boogers out with those things?
Give yourself like a
Bro,
lobotomy.
she's got big ass nostrils.
What if you're like cooking chicken? Like, I don't know, man. Like, how you gonna get all the raw chicken out from them after you're done handling the chicken breast? I don't know. I don't get it.
Why does this guy look like Donald Trump?
He does look like he does look like a young Republican.
Look at that answer machine.
Right. I have to say, you ain't got no room in that room to
What
do
is
anything.
what is the camera guy's fascination with getting up like on ladders or something
I don't know.
and filming down on people?
He probably had one lens and he was trying to get wide shots.
I was actually gonna say he was probably like Kenyan or something. He's like 7 feet tall.
Like
He's
this,
like the
this guy is-
dude in X who wanted to make it a cinematic masterpiece.
This is like here. You want a more cinematic film? Go over in there on those two talking instead of this giant wide 3-shot that never moves for this.
No.
Like,
I don't think he gets coverage either. He just lets this whole scene play out. It was like,
Yeah.
how long did
now he finally comes in.
Yeah, now he comes in, yeah. Yeah, no, he should have come in way sooner.
Mm-hmm.
Look, she's on the bed ready for it.
That's what I was saying, dude. Like she's been trying to get it from like homeboy for a while, and he's just like, "Yo, man, I ain't,
I'm a
I'm
doctor.
trying to preserve my chi. I ain't trying to blow it on you."
He didn't even want to go skiing. He wanted to stay in the house. Like,
But if you don't want to go skiing, that's usually like, yeah, that's code for like, I'm gonna try to fuck my girl. Like, y'all go enjoy skiing. I'm like, my leg is kind of sore, or whatever. I'm gonna see if my girl will like rub it out for me or whatever. And you do the jerking motion like that, and then your friends know, like, oh, okay, cool. They're trying to get it on. We'll go out here and ski and let them fuck. But he's not even trying to fuck.
she was on the bed ready too.
Dude, she really was. And later on, she's asking for it later too. And
He's like, no, I gotta unpack.
yeah,
Oh, and just randomly, this is in the
That's like- that's like the plot point later. He's like, where the fuck did this come from? You know?
Oh, yeah. He just puts it in his pocket and shakes his head like, no big
He's
deal.
a practical joke. He's like, pfft. Whatever that dude's name is, that's always on cocaine with a rat tail, like pfft, something he would do.
It looks like the inside of Jaws' mouth.
your favorite.
Exactly. I'd rather watch this though.
Here, we won't tolerate Jaws slander on this. Keep your slander directed at this.
I think I might rather watch Ice than Jaws too.
I've seen Iced far less times than Jaws,
That
and
is also true.
This is like the worst framing I've ever seen. There's literally 3 trees in the middle of the fucking shot.
I had a babe all lined up. Yeah. But you bombed out on me at the last minute. So you're here for a real.
That fucking coat is the shit, though. I gotta find one of those.
No, I just came up.
You got to get the sweater too, or the what do you call it?
That turtleneck?
No, the scarf. He's
Oh,
got
dude.
under the jacket.
I got scarves. I got like a whole scarf collection. You don't have to worry about scarves. I got fucking scarves.
I want the it's kind of like this. I want the jacket Stallone has in Rocky 4, the bomber. It's got that same neck thing, but it's like dark like dark brown, black. It's basically the same, just a different color. Yeah, I'll take that one too while I'm at it.
Dude, I want to get a coat like that with like the fucking animal fur all on the fucking collar like that, and I'm gonna fucking wear it to a vegan restaurant. Like green elephant, suck my dick, motherfuckers.
Look, she's ready for it. She got her legs wrapped around him and everything.
Yeah, but there's certain times that I feel like the dudes would be more interested if the ladies just left.
For
Did it
sure.
just cut from daytime to nighttime?
It
All
did.
these dudes are like totally waiting for the girls to fall asleep. They're gonna like roofie the girls, not so they can take advantage of the girls, but so that the girls won't wake up while they're fucking.
Mm-hmm. Look at that turtleneck. Good.
Mhm. Tucked in and everything.
I love the camera following this guy around. I really wish we'd get a prequel to Ice that just. I want to hit more of his story here because he's obviously he's into drugs clearly, and he's more into drugs than his other friends. It's not like one of those movies where they're all kind of, snorting a little blow. Like he's very into drugs, and they are all trying to like live this sort of more like adult, responsible life. But he's got a gun too. So like, what's he doing? Is he dealing? Is he on the run? Does he owe somebody money? Like, I want to know more about him because I think there's like a lot interesting narratively about his whatever he's got going on.
I'm going to tell you what, I haven't seen anybody eat yet, but this is the second time that I've seen multiple people in the kitchen like chopping and preparing food.
I was about to say she started cooking, and then the day passed, and now she's cooking.
She just fucking, the kitchen is like her gym. She doesn't fucking cook. She doesn't lift a finger. She's just fucking. I'm doing push-ups and I'm curling this weight.
Counter incline push-ups, and
there's the carrots right there.
Yeah. All right.
Wait, who gets naked in the bathroom to do coke?
Dude, I do. I don't know. I mean, you don't? What are you talking about? You guys are going to know when it's cocaine time for this particular video because I'm going to start tripping down.
Jason's pants are down. Uh-oh. Is she still working out?
She's curling the rolling pin.
Look, she's about to start doing some push-ups right there.
I mean, they should have had her doing like karate in the living room, like move all the.
She's doing like legs, butt, back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why does she keep working out?
It was the 80s, man. She's into jazzercise or some shit. She's like a jazzercise instructor.
Good Lord.
I'm about to say she's stroking that knife.
I know. It's like, let me think of the most dangerous way ever to cut carrots and stuff.
I don't know if you noticed, but homeboy, in a few minutes, he's not very safe with that gun. His gun safety is not on point. This dude right here, when he starts playing with that gun later, I'm like, bro, that's a loaded weapon. Like, you gotta treat that thing with some respect. I'm big into gun safety. I don't know about you guys, but like, I keep guns, and if you're gonna keep guns, you gotta be safe about the shit. Treat that shit like it's loaded.
He exits the bathroom to this super ambient, like moody lighting.
Yeah,
it's like some of the best lighting they've had in the movie, though.
This is for sure the best lighting they've had. This is great. The slats on the staircase creating that like, pattern on the wall that is perpendicular to the pattern of the white. The log cabin. Like I fucking love it. And then there was smoke on the stairs. They're the smokiest stairs I've seen in my life.
The steam from his shower followed him up.
He's like watching himself sleep, which is fucking weird. Like he looked down and it was like him sleeping.
Yeah, I don't really get what's going on here.
Yeah, I never got this part.
He's just having a nightmare. Like
he's just having a nightmare about himself being murdered, which again, like he's got this like rich inner world that's like really they really don't do enough to.
I'm about to say, yeah, that was some Freddy Krueger shit they could have explored with that one.
Like
it makes you wonder, like, was he even doing cocaine in the bathroom? Was that part of the dream?
Yeah.
Was that real? And then he just passed out and had this weird dream where he was going up the stairs. Like the cocaine part might have been real. I don't know.
If he was doing the coke, it seems like he wouldn't have been the first one in the house asleep.
Yeah, that's true. He'd been running laps around the house.
I'm about to say, because he's sweating like a motherfucker right now.
Yeah.
Maybe he's detoxing and he's dreaming about taking it. Like
maybe.
He's jonesing.
He's
Yeah.
Joseph hard. He needs it.
I don't see these two being friends.
At all. Not at all.
That's the dynamic I mentioned earlier that I actually kind of love about this movie. It's like they were friends 4 years ago when like Dr. Guy was not as uptight. He wasn't a doctor yet. They were both undergrads. Like, you know, they were in the same dorm room, or they were like, it was like one of those things where like college sort of pairs you up with people that are like, you know, and then you just, you know, you maintain friendships like maybe longer than you should, even though you've kind of gone in different directions. It's actually one of the things about this movie that's like not really said outright, but it's like obvious, like they're sort of tolerating this guy, the gun character, the drug character, because it's like we were friends, we were roommates, we had a lot of good times, and it feels mean to like dump the guy, but it's like obviously his lifestyle and my lifestyle now 4 years later are
different.
like, yeah. I love that dynamic about this movie. That's actually something I really like about this movie, is like they're trying to maintain this old social, and there he is, just basically putting the gun in his mouth.
Super safety.
Yeah.
I just saw our chat over here, and the first thing I saw is just all caps was boobies, exclamation point.
Yes, boobies. Boobies.
I see some people. I just now figured out that I could see a chat over here.
Yes.
I didn't even know we could. Okay.
You can respond to the chat too if you like. You can say things. I've said a few things so far in the chat.
I've just had the whole thing in full screen, the whole mode.
There you go. So you're clued into the movie. You're really paying attention.
Yeah, we're really watching the movie.
Yeah, which is good. I mean,
I'm just glad he's got a robe on at this point. Oh,
I love that he finds the longest mirror in the house. It's like,
I was just about to say that.
I can do the longest line ever. He's just gonna do like a 6-foot line.
With his sunglasses on.
My mom had a mirror like that. Like when I was a kid, I remember she had like a mirror. It was wood frame. It was long and it like would tilt and stuff like that. And I just always was kind of like, as a kid, like a 4-year-old, 5-year-old, was like entranced by this mirror that like moved and did all this. I never thought, you know, lay it flat and do a whole like 4-foot line of Coke on it.
They even got a candlelit dinner.
Yeah.
It's like so bright in there, the candle's doing nothing. It's just like
the kitchen is like very 80s too, with that like yellow ass fridge.
Wouldn't that be more 70s though with the yellow?
Maybe it's a holdover from the 70s.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but if you bought a refrigerator in 1975, that thing's still running today. So it's definitely running then.
That's the fridge we turned into the kegerator. It was yellow like that. We painted it black, and then we put like bulldog stickers all over because this was at UGA. So we painted it black, and then we used like a appliance spray paint. We spray painted the whole thing black, but it was just that yellow. It was like some old 1978 fridge, and we turned it into a kegerator, man. It was great.
I can't get over how fine she is.
Oh, I see Ben's in the chat. Jason, do you have family in the chat?
I have my wife might be in the chat, maybe. It's possible. But like, even if I do have, like, if my mom stumbled into the chat, don't let it change the way you talk, because my mom has definitely attended a few of these. She's like listened back to some of my shit. Like,
Oh yeah,
horrible.
my mom too. Like,
yeah, like both of my parents are like, all right, we give up. I don't know where we went wrong, but this fucking guy just watches ICED. Talk shit. Like, dude.
What is he eating? What is that? He's caressing.
Look at all that bread.
Are they just eating bread?
All that time, and I just see a lot of bread. Now I know workout chick isn't just eating all bread. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Dude, that was the 80s, man. It was probably like low fat. Like, I can eat this bread because it's got 1 gram of fat in it.
True. Yeah.
True.
Man. Look at the no safety regulations on all those old ski lifts, man.
Bro, that would scare the crap out of me today.
We used to ride those in friggin' Maggie Valley, North Carolina up here, man. Like, just like that. There's a picture of me on one of those. It's like, don't lean too far forward.
Yeah, you don't want to fuck around with those.
I'll say we've seen this guy naked more than anybody.
Yeah.
This is Donald Trump guy, though.
Oh, yeah, that's the other guy.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah. This is Mr. Young Republican. He's having some Johnny Walker. And this must be his fantasy, actually, because
Is it her? Is it his? Is he?
I thought it was hers earlier.
it's got to be his, because look at this. Like,
Yeah.
it's his tub.
Yeah,
Like, that's his.
true. Yeah.
Like, she can't fantasize about his tub because she got no idea. I'm sorry, YouTube. I'm so sorry, YouTube.
We're sorry, Mrs. Our grandma Mass.
I'm sorry, Grand Jan. We call her Grand Jan because her name is Janet. And my mom's name is Janet. And so we call her Grand Jan because she's like a grandma now because I have kids. So she wanted to be called Grand Jan because it didn't feel quite as old as just like grandma or something like that. So she goes by Grand Jan. And my kids call her Grand Jan. They have no idea that her name is Janet, but they call her Grand Jan.
So is he's fantasizing about this chick, but we haven't even seen that they've met yet.
Yeah, but we know that he was around 4 years ago.
Yeah, he was around back then because
So what is the theory? Do we want to theorize like maybe he had a thing for her and it has persisted to this time? He still fantasizes about her sexually because maybe he wanted her back then, but he didn't have the balls to speak up, or she didn't know he existed back then.
Yeah,
he probably didn't. Yeah.
I mean, when he meets them, they're like, "Oh, hey, nice to meet you." Not like, "Oh, hey, I remember you from 4 years ago."
Yeah, that's the problem. It's like he doesn't.
Hold on, this shot is probably the most cinematic shot in the whole movie.
Yeah, I like that mirror, and it's kind of a reveal of like, I mean, you really ought to be able to put two and two together.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder who the killer is. He's got the killer's outfit, you know.
Yeah, but at the time, you don't know if he's the killer, or if that's the killer in the room with them.
I had wondered that too, but then the fact that he appears in the next scene alive, you're like, well, I guess that wasn't killer because he's like still breathing.
And she wanted to fuck him so hard.
She really did. She was like begging for it. She's like, don't leave. He was like, I gotta go. The fucking homo in here is so like the dudes are just like, send the girls home so we can all make love. Like even the guy that's not part of the group is like, just tell these broads to leave. Like,
she is hair, like you said.
Yeah, I was about to say that's her putting in the work to get ready.
It's funny. The director said that he always felt she was shy, and then like she goes on and works in the porn industry and marries a porn star and does nudity all these times. I'm thinking, I don't think so.
Not only did she marry the porn star, like, look, she married a guy who was a porn actor, right? Like, she didn't marry a porn director or a porn producer. She married a porn actor. And then she got mad at him because he was a porn actor. They were on an episode of Sally Jesse Raphael in 1992 where she was like mad because he's like, he's in porn. He keeps fucking these other girls. It's like, you married a guy who was in porn. Like, you should have married an accountant, you know? You could have married a Jewish accountant. He would have fucked anybody.
Can we just talk about how much fog within his intro scene?
Yeah.
Dude, it's like,
with him. It's like the spirit of Jeff. Like, you know, it's like, I think he's obviously doing the killings to avenge his buddy Jeff. And so the fog, I think, is supposed to be a visual metaphor for
totally is. 100%
Jeff's spirit. Like, he's haunted by this friend that he lost. And so every time he's stalking, especially at the end when I noticed there was so much fog, it's because he's in the house and the spirit of Jeff, the malevolent soul of Jeff is with him. And I think that's the artistic genius of this film.
I wish I could give the director that much credit, but after hearing him talk, I'm like, dude,
this is me trying to get hired by Vinegar Syndrome. Okay, I'm trying to blow smoke right up this movie's ass.
Hey, Brian, here we go. The routine 5 shot, like we do those all the time, right? We have 5 people in a conversation. Get wide, baby.
I actually think we have that same coffee maker in my house. Look at that American Pie, baby.
It's an American Pie reference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If American Pie was a horror movie,
nobody'd fuck that one first.
Everybody just sit in a straight line around here. I got one shot I can do.
It always cuts to like right before they eat and right after they eat.
Yeah. They didn't have any actual money. They had to afford the food. Like,
is he counting money right now?
Yeah, he totally is.
That's from petty cash. That's what they just used to buy like Taco Bell with.
Yeah. That was what they had left over after they bought the pie.
Yeah.
He's like, I do cocaine out of $1 bills because I'm fucking broke.
See, there's two. He only had the one shot to start with for everybody talking. There was two other people over here on the couch. You had no idea they were sitting over there the whole time.
Mhm. I love how the blonde girl goes back and I love how everybody else has changed, but the blonde girl is still in the same outfit she had on earlier.
Hell yeah. You got a fucking Rockadile shirt. You're going to wear that fucking thing all weekend.
Oh, we got a dolly shot. Oh, we got a push in. What?
Yeah.
She's definitely the best actress in this movie.
Okay. Yeah.
You're just saying that because you like her boobies.
No, those aren't bad. It's so funny because like I've shot in Dark Rose. I've shot in a cabin like this with like a room full of people, and you have to. It's just like, oh god, bro, you gotta do something.
This is beautiful here.
I love the cut to them like on a bearskin rug.
Mhm. She's got her heels on, everything like
Dude.
slit up the skirt.
She just keeps pulling her skirt up higher. It's like, dude,
Who are you?
She's like, do you want to see my balls? Pull this thing up a little higher.
Well then.
the only actress I've ever seen more forward in a movie is Kelly Preston in Twins when she's like coming on to Arnold Schwarzenegger in the hotel room. She's like, oh, this bed's lumpy. Let me lay down here with you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We're a lot alike. I come from a well-to-do family. Not megabucks like you.
I also thought, like, in this scene too, she's kind of thrown herself at the dude. Part of it feels like revenge for the Eddie guy or whatever who never showed up.
Mhm.
And then the other part of it is like, I almost feel like there's a little bit of like gold digger thing here too, where she mentions like, "Oh, I'm from a well-to-do family." Not as
there
well-to-do as
totally is.
yours.
Oh, there totally is. Yeah.
It seemed like she saw an opportunity and she was like, I'm gonna throw the pussy at this guy because he got a rich daddy who's sick, about to die. We're gonna inherit a whole bunch of money.
We're gonna zoom into the
That
titty.
was a weird pushing. Like, who's imagining that right now? Like, which one of them is imagining that?
That's the thing, though. It's like back to his bathtub. So part of
Yeah.
me thinks it's her fantasy because he's got his leg. She doesn't know he's got like a false leg yet, I guess. So she would fantasize about him with both legs.
Oh yeah.
True. Yeah.
Or maybe in his imagination he's whole again. I don't know, like,
Maybe. I'm sorry, YouTube. I'm so sorry.
I'm not.
I mean, we're
You
still
just
here.
cut away to the trees, like the leaves going back and forth.
oh my god, this guy.
I think
Like,
that's a visual metaphor for him achieving erection, but then also prematurely ejaculating in his pants. So
I have to say, they're going at it like just in front of everybody. Don't even care.
that is a little bit weird to me too, because like you guys are adults, like you're not supposed to be pounding while your friends are like
Like he's half
apple dinner
undressed right
coffee.
now. Like look at his shirt. His shirt's almost off at this point.
No shit. And I mean, it's not like you're not going to be able to see his boner through those slacks.
and she was like hiking her skirt up down there in the floor, but the way they shot it, you didn't even realize there was other people in the room again.
Yeah.
Like,
Joke, it's not very funny. Hello? What did he say? Strange.
the rare 7 shot here.
I know, right?
This is Eddie. I'm here with Jeff now. What? He said I'm here with Jeff now.
So the quality is so low. I can't tell if they're all in focus or they're slightly out of focus in the back.
It is tough to tell.
Well, that ain't there. He was back shooting from the look. See, go more in. If he'd have gone like cut around when people were talking, the shots like that, those and over the shoulders, not just one singles, because then it just looks like everybody like, hey, we're gonna get everybody's tights here.
Mhm.
I mean, his name was.
At least he's got decent eyeline matches.
What list?
True.
List of people in your party.
What are you talking
She's
about?
kind of scary.
Yeah.
She's a little scary. Like she's one of them type. Like I said, she's high testosterone, so you just got to be careful because like she's gonna look you in the eye when you have sex for the first time. She's like, "You're gonna make me come. Or I'm gonna rip your dick off."
She looks like the great value version mix of like
The chick from Roadhouse.
yes, Kelly Lynch.
Mailings were
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe there's a little Laura Dern mixed into it.
A little bit. She's got Laura Dern's haircut in the 80s.
Yeah.
You invited a dead man. And he accepted. I don't understand this.
That guy's
Be some mistake.
oh god, what's
If you like, I'll have
John Boy Walton, I can't think of his name. Played in It. I just totally crapped out on his name. He does the Mercedes commercials now.
Here's my card.
That's who the doctor in glasses reminds me of.
I just keep seeing the dude from fucking Die Hard.
Right. I'm
That
sure
is
it's
definitely a
slow.
connection that I was not making.
Or somebody.
Mm-mm.
The Die Hard dude is like yoked. He's like East Germany, where like steroids were still okay.
God, what is the guy's name from
Dude, she's throwing it at him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
She's, like,
surprised he
trying
comes back
everything.
to whack her because, like, dude, I think she would have run away with him even after he killed everybody else. Like, I got $1 million. She'd be like, well, fine. You killed all my friends from college, but
Maybe it's a little bit like what was that movie Dressed to Kill, where his sexual urges causes, he kills them because he's like partly a tranny.
yeah.
Oh yeah, the De Palma's movie.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, that's an old one. I like how the room looks like it looks like a casino, like one of those cheap Indian casinos where people have been smoking for like 8 hours while playing the slots.
Found this news clipping about Jeff's death in my room.
Does her shirt say Rockadiles?
Yeah.
It does say Rockadiles. That's why I said earlier, like if you got a Rockadiles shirt, like you got to wear that all
That's
weekend.
what I thought. I was like,
About to say everybody's changed like 3 times. She's
But
steady rocking the
she's still in her-
Crocodile shirt. Yeah.
with the
They've
sleeves
been there for
rolled
8
up.
hours. They haven't even spent the night yet. Like this is their first day there. They've all
Exactly.
changed.
They cooked like 3 6-course meals, but they only ate carrots and bread.
I was about to say Wednesday Addams over there. We've seen her in red, we've seen her in black lingerie, we've seen her naked, and we see her in white.
Yeah.
And all we've seen is the Rockadilly shirt.
I was supposed to look out.
And the curling going on.
Yeah.
I like how everybody agrees that he was kind of a freak, except for her. She defends Jeff because they were friends since childhood. She knows that Jeff was kind of a weirdo too. So she this is the scene where she's like, yeah, okay, he was socially awkward. He kind of thought he was dating you, even though you guys had only met one time and you carpooled to a ski chalet and he thought you guys were going to get married. But
Was she at the beginning? Was she with them 4 years ago?
That's what I'm saying. She rode with just Jeff to that weekend at the cabin. So, like, I would have, and 2 hours later, she's bouncing on some other dude in a chair. Like, I give him some slack there.
No, I'm talking about the girl who's mad though. The one who's defending him. Was she there at the beginning?
She,
I know the blonde was.
I think she was there. I think she was like flirting with the doctor dude that they're now married or whatever.
are they cooking again?
Hell yeah, they are. These
Yeah.
fucking pies aren't going to cook themselves.
Uh,
Got to make cookies now.
they've already had pie. They've already,
Like, what the hell are they eating now?
Dude, they've hotboxed that whole fucking cabin. They
I was
gotta
about
eat.
to say,
They're
she-
fucking
she-
starving.
she's in there burning pancakes right now.
Just
That's
making
what
some
the
protein
smoke is.
pancakes.
Like, oh my god, I forgot I left the oven on broil. That's why it's so fucking smoky. She's pretending to be asleep, man. There's definitely like a lot to these characters that goes unsaid in this film. It's like The Keep. There was like originally like a 210-minute version of
I
Ice.
was literally about to say this movie's only 80 minutes. Like, how long was the original cut of this movie? Because I feel like there's so much not here.
Yeah,
The
I
other
wish I got
problem,
the director's cut. Michael Mann had to give it the okay.
you have all of these people in a horror movie to kill, and you're not killing, like, you don't start killing any of them hardly until way later, except for the one guy that natural selection took because he couldn't get out of the way of the Zamboni in 45 minutes.
I
That
was
guy
about to
killed
say,
himself.
so
Dude,
it's
I'm
probably
so tired
been
of
what,
this
an hour since.
boring as shit. I'm just gonna fucking crawl under this car and die.
Like,
When was the last kill? Like 30 minutes ago? 40
Yeah.
minutes ago?
yeah,
There's like this whole middle section of this film where there's like it's just all the melodrama. It's the soap opera. It's the like, like the I'm gonna make out with this dude, and then this dude's gonna. my boyfriend's gonna call me and say Eddie's with Jeff or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, there's only like 24 minutes left in the movie, and nobody else has died. There's only been the one person get killed by the killer, right?
No.
You would think like if this was a movie made today, they would each have been getting off. Well, he's about to get,
He's about to get it through the throat. And
which is a cheap cutaway shot to me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They said it's a dummy that they use, but it's like
no, but they don't even show it. It's like
it comes through right here. It's like pops.
Oh, I'm thinking of a different cut. I'm thinking of a different murder. Oh, yeah. I'm thinking of a different murder.
His girl, it doesn't really show. It shows her getting like lifted up by the neck, and he's about to put the thing through her.
Yeah, I think that one where it goes and it cuts to something else.
Yeah, that's the one with you talking about with the ice.
I like how he comes over the car. He's like, it's almost playful. Like I'm gonna come over the car and kind of let her run a little bit. And
they would have had an easier time with the script if they'd have killed people like sporadically, and they would be trying to figure out what was happening and going on.
That
thing looks duller than the fucking carrot that Tuesday was eating.
It's real, by the way. They said it. The director said this. We had plenty to pick from out there. They were real icicles.
Bro, I'm up here in Maine. I literally last week just paid somebody $1,200 to come take all the ice dams off my house and my units.
Oh my
I got units, so I got I had to pay out the ass to get these guys to come take all the ice dams down, but it was going to fuck my roof up. So I had icicles. I had like 4-foot icicles that I could have after watching this movie, I broke one off and I was like, can I stab something with this? And it doesn't work for shit.
You're like, honey, I'm Jeff. Jeffy's here. Yeah. Let's role play ice.
That is very different than Georgia weather that you're dealing with now.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, it was like almost 60 degrees. It's 60 degrees right now.
Yeah, it was. It got to 61 here today.
Dude, it was warm. I got 39 degrees today.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty warm. I went out in short sleeves to take the trash out.
It has been cold here this winter, though. It has been cold.
I swear he will be with Jeff when I get through with him.
The biggest misnomer of people not from Georgia when they come to Georgia is that they don't think it gets cold here at all. I'm like, oh, you're in for a rude awakening.
It gets cold for like a day or two.
We had 2 weeks where we could have filmed iced here, where it never got above like 35, 36 degrees. It was like, good Lord.
It was like 12 degrees here last week.
Yeah, here too.
This is a bit of a strange scene here too, where they he starts out like he's listening to her, she's venting.
Yeah,
real forceful, and she's pretty clear that she's not down with it.
Yeah,
like this does not seem consensual at all.
No. But there's a moment like right at the start of it that she seemed like she was.
She was into it. All he had to do was be cool.
Be cool, play it cool.
He was like, "Oh, her hand, give it to me," you know.
It's like it goes into a series of weird cuts from there, like to the icicles, to the trees, to this guy. Like,
and then when we cut back, like the scene is over. So I guess we're supposed to interpret that, like cutaways, like time has passed. Like we're not going to show you the rape scene, but that's kind of what was happening, right? I mean, it's one thing to maybe bring a gun on a ski trip that your friends don't really consent to. It's another thing to like actually start raping your friends.
Yeah,
that's pretty bad. But then like her response isn't wake people up, call the police.
No,
I'm gonna get tastefully naked and then get into the hot tub.
Yeah, so there are like it's like one of those things. Like, did she?
Yeah, was that a fantasy? Like, was that a dream? Was that because he's fully clothed again? Like, who puts his tie back on? You know what I mean? Like, he put his tie back on. Like, I don't know. Maybe he didn't take it off.
Maybe that was a fever dream.
Like, it could have been a fever dream. And there's so much of this movie that, watching it back the second and third time, I'm like, what are we even seeing? Like, sorry again, YouTube.
You saw a lot right there with her leg going over.
There was a little bit of booty and possibly a little bit of back bush. And I'm sorry, YouTube.
A little undercarriage.
Sorry.
And if this wasn't VHS quality, you could actually have seen it.
I know, right? We did this on 4K.
Yeah, if they had restored this, we would have seen it.
Oh shit, it's Frank. Frank's here.
The best shot of this movie though is like after this, and it's like the camera's above her going over, and you see that Jeff was here.
I like how he throws the toaster in. It's just like, you know.
Yeah.
Awesome. It's
Hey,
like, fuck
she
you.
acted her ass off in that scene.
She really does.
She's in there rubbing herself and shit. Part of me thinks that was a dream because if she was almost raped a second ago.
If not, she was into it. That's the only way you can like. It was either a dream or she was into it.
Look, his glasses aren't broken. Is
Oh yeah, they were.
I like how the snowman is just watching. I'm here to watch. Oh my god.
She is like, yeah, that's like what was it? The sex scene in Showgirls with her in the pool.
Hi, Brian.
Who's the other one? It was Jason.
Hi, Jason.
Hello. Hi.
Good
Sorry,
night.
I'm focused on the naked woman dying in the tub. Risha.
I'm sorry, we're watching a nude woman get electrocuted to death. Give me like 30 more seconds.
The time she comes over, like, oh wait, we're trying to see the.
And his hand's going now. Where's his hand? Oh, to the.
I like
drug.
how he slowly reaches for the gun. Do you ever get spooked and think there's someone in here and then think I'm gonna slowly reach for this gun, sensually, almost sensually, I'm gonna caress my inner thigh and slowly produce a gun. I love the lighting right here though too on his face, and then it totally changes.
He just,
Super serious. He's like,
it must be one of those motion
taking
lights.
serious with the ponytail and his jeans tucked in his boots.
Yeah.
I love this. This is kind of creepy too. Like imagine looking outside and there's just a darkened figure, like just
holding a
waving
lantern, just like.
And then imagine thinking, I'm gonna put on my coat and I'm gonna go see what that guy's up to. Like, fuck no, I'm turning off every fucking light, I'm locking everything, and I'm huddling with the gun. Like if he comes in, I'm gonna pop him. When the sun comes up, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
That's
Nah, that was the end of the movie right there. Open the window, pop.
Yeah,
that's also true.
And all I can think of, like earlier, Chase, you were talking about how the icicles were real. That dude had to. I'm pretty sure those bear traps are real.
Oh yeah.
I do like that he gets him with the bear traps, though. That is actually kind of a sick way to fuck someone up.
Yeah.
I mean, but he put a coat on and everything. I mean,
he came prepared.
I like how he fires the gun here after stepping in the bear traps.
He fired it like 3 times.
And homeboy's just still sleeping. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna sleep through that. Gunshots outside. Like
he needs his rest to deal with his wife, Shira. Like
that's also true.
Here's the thing: the whole group didn't do anything to Jeff. It was just him and the girl.
Yeah, talk about guilt by association.
That's
but here's the thing: the other dude wasn't even in the room with them.
No shit.
To know what was going on, he didn't see him go off to the thing.
Yeah, he blames them for Jeff's death, and then he also blames them for Jeff dying and him losing his leg because he like fell after stumbling upon Jeff's corpse.
Yeah, that's like the weakest. Like
ever.
And he's so mad at them that he's gonna like instead of I don't know, he waits 4 years to like summon them all to this chalet, and it's like, would it work? I mean, would all of them come to this cabin? Like they've all got jobs and shit. Like, I mean, they could have easily just said no, and then his whole like 4-year plan.
Messed up. There's another movie just like this, but it's called Truth or Die. I've talked about it on the channel before, but it's like a British movie where it's basically the same thing, kind of in a way.
This dude is me as fuck because like I wake up in the middle of the night, everyone's sleeping. I'm like, man, I'm gonna go fucking eat some shit that nobody.
Right.
I'm gonna go eat some shit.
I'm gonna go light a candle. And
I love this. He's like almost like a kid. He's like, should I
eat that pie?
I'm fucking eating this pie. I love that someone cut like one piece of pie, put it on a plate, and was like, all right, I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna leave this fucking piece of pie here for this asshole. And then he just gets fucking got.
Director's like, I'm gonna need you to really eat this whole pie.
No shit.
Oh no, you gotta squeeze it.
I love how the blood and the pie are the same color.
Yeah.
was that really? We think that's really a kill shot right there with that. Like,
I thought like, wow, that's kind of like, he got the guy, but like maybe he got the ascending aorta that goes, down, it like feeds the blood down into the heart. Like if he got deep enough, maybe he nicked that thing and the dude bled out inside. But like, I was also thinking like, he kind of got him, like that's above the collarbone. That's kind of trapezius. Like if he just got trapezius meat, then I don't see how that guy dies, but whatever.
Look, everybody's dead in the house, and the only thing she thinks is weird is the light doesn't turn on.
Yeah. So that's
nobody's thought that it's weird that it's like basically the Fog movie inside the house the whole time.
Oh, shit.
It's been 20 minutes you looking through your purse for a flashlight.
Like it,
when the sun is up, like
Right.
Yeah, the daylight.
Lines,
like I can see everything. How can you not see? Like
Yeah.
what is that flashlight doing? You can't even see where it's shining on the bed because it's too bright.
Well, we already
I like
seen
the homeboy made the
outside.
bed,
It's
too.
morning.
Yeah.
Look, he's gonna look. Yep, there we go. It's morning.
Yeah. She slept peacefully through the night, and she's about to call the killer and wake the killer up in his bed. Like he murdered everybody, and then he went home and laid down and took a nap. This dude just throws him from the waist up too. I love this.
This shot,
wild.
This upcoming shot was one of my favorite ones. It's just laying here. If you really want to get into deep, this shot, I love this shot. There's this overhead dolly shot, and then you do the Jeff was here, and that is not blood. That is like that little spray shit you used as a kid.
Yeah.
Silly string.
Yeah, silly string.
No, Jason, you want to get into like deep symbology with this movie. How about all the religious references? Her laying there like this in the tub, and then at the very end, the snowman doing the bleeding eyes, like this, like stigmata with the statues of Mary.
I dug it, and it was kind of appropriate. Like the most whorish character was the one that was posed, in that crucifixion position, almost like it was almost like her final like absolution, like she died, but
she looked like she was died chilling though. She was chilling in that tub.
She was about to rub one out in that hot tub, dude.
Yeah, she was.
About to test the chlorine levels.
She put on her shoes and her jacket and no pants though.
I dig that. I like, like pants take a long time to put on, like a jacket.
I mean, I love it for the movie. I'd have done the same. I would have done the same thing for the movie. Been like, nope, you're running out here in your pants and your panties. I mean, Creature Feature. I had a poor girl. I mean, Realm of Souls. I had a poor girl having to be like in a t-shirt and pretty much nothing else, in the freezing cold in the woods for like 10 night shoots.
That's what I'm talking about. She about to go wake up the killer. I do like how she finds this guy's frozen corpse too. The thing about the snowy kind of wintry setting is that as soon as somebody's dead, they can be frozen in the next scene. She's gotta like peel his fingers off.
She had a reaction to everybody else dead except him.
Yeah, he's a scumbag. She was like, whatever.
Like, let me shoot him 2 times just to make sure. Is she checking for keys?
Yeah, I think she's looking for keys.
Wouldn't the guy in the car have the keys?
Yeah, he ought to have keys.
Yeah, she don't have any love for that dude at all.
No, she has no emotion. Like, all right, fuck you.
Oh, he just moved his eyes.
He moved his hand earlier too. Yeah. It's not a very convincing frozen corpse, but whatever.
Now we're getting into like Evil Dead territory where she comes back into the house.
This is the best she's looked the whole movie, by the way.
Oh, 100%.
Dude, she finally took that stanky Crocodile shirt she was working out in for like a whole fucking day off.
I was about to say she was warming those legs up this whole movie just so she could have her one scene with her in her underwear.
Corey is the husband who's like pretending to be dead, which is smart because the killer's coming back. I like that she doesn't pull the knife out either. That's smart.
Is he actually dead now? Because he wasn't dead again earlier. Is he
Nah,
actually?
he's going to come back and he's going to crawl up the stairs and all the smoke.
That's right. Effort. Yep.
She's about to call this dude and he's in bed. Like he kills everyone and goes home and takes a nap. I love that. I mean, I'm like, part of me wonders like how, you know, in the commentary with the film historian, they talk a lot about how this film was kind of, you know, meta in a way. It was kind of self-referential. It was referential of the genre of slashers, and you know, the director, it sounded like, had a completely different take. Like he really wanted to make something that was, you know, plays it straight and is kind of gnarly. But you know, like honestly, to me, this is too melodramatic and funny to be like totally like a straight slasher. Like to me, this is a little bit referential. I wonder how much of that is like on purpose versus sort of by accident. We'll take credit for it in hindsight.
I just listening to him, I really felt like anything they got was by accident, and he wanted to do more, and he wanted to kill them off in more gruesome ways along the way and build up because he kept saying, you know, build up the grisly atmosphere and the ratchet it up and all this stuff, and he just did. He's like, but the script just had so much talking. Like, it's what he kept saying. I like how they make sure they get the cutbacks to Lisa. Whoa, that's a weird jump cut. Right
Yeah,
there.
that was a
very
that came out of nowhere.
Like she's there with the gun, and then suddenly he's on her. Like you know, all you can think is maybe she was falling asleep, but she got a full night's sleep, dog.
Yeah,
She's gotta be well rested.
And this guy,
I like how this guy summons his strength.
it was the pie gave him the strength.
Yeah, the
to say,
glucose finally hit.
I don't know why she's running. She can kick his ass.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Dude has a wooden leg, man. Fuck him up. She's moving like a solid oak table.
But he somehow got the drop on her when she was sitting there with the gun held out right in front of her. And then the next shot, he's like on top of her. So,
and he's walking like a snail.
He's doing the Jason Voorhees thing. Like
Jason Voorhees, yep.
Friday the 13th, the whole 80s long. That's why it's like how much of this is supposed to be kind of like referential of other, you know, 80s tropes where it's like, I don't know. I can't really take this movie seriously. Like it's kind of dumb to me.
Well, I mean, you know, you got Roger Corman kind of back there behind all this. So like all these people work for Corman.
Yeah.
Almost all of them were on Slumber Party Massacre right before this.
Yeah.
So there you go.
There's the smoke. That is the malevolent spirit of Jeff. You know, he's got to crawl through it. That's the crucible. You know, as a hero figure, he has to transverse that crucible of Jeff's malevolence.
And then we got the shining shot right here.
Yeah.
It's Jeff.
I got that same pair of scissors upstairs.
Wonder
how he's dragging his fucking legs like he got stabbed in the fucking thigh or something. Like, dog, you got stabbed in the trapezius. Like, move your fucking your quadriceps are
with your legs,
fine, dude.
And this bitch gonna hide under the bed.
Yep.
Ain't no windows. Ain't no windows. Ain't no doors in that room. She in the attic. She gonna hide under the bed.
They'll never find me under here.
50-50 shot.
It's almost like a voodoo doll. Like it cuts away to her husband feeling the pain.
Yeah.
Like such odd continuity there. This gets kind of sexual fast too. He's like groping her.
Yeah, he's like
going straight for the kill. He's sort of like
Oh, it was Donald Trump the whole time.
It was.
I don't understand.
Like, I
Spoiler
don't,
alert for you guys watching the stream. Sorry.
I don't really like feel like that was like some big shocking reveal. But
What,
like,
with the leg or him?
The hair is the shot right here. That fucking
Yeah.
hair.
He's so rad right there.
Dude's so rad.
your only other option as a killer is he survived, and that's it. Like,
Yeah. I kind of thought it was going to be that way before I saw this. I thought it was going to be like, how are you going to explain that Jeff lived like he was in the woods the whole time? Like, how are you going to tell me that he spent 4 years in a cave? And so,
Right.
you know, that wouldn't have made sense either. But this guy being so emotionally affected by his friend's death that he somehow trips and loses his leg here.
and then needs to kill everybody even tangentially associated with what happened. Like,
I hope they close that ski route after this.
Oh, shit. I want to see a sequel to this where like Jeff's spirit haunts that like fucking mountain. Like go supernatural with it and have it be
this
like
would be
Jeff's.
actually, I was thinking about this the other day. This would actually be a very easy sequel to do in that regard. Like, you could totally do this.
Fuck
Yeah,
a sequel. I want the prequel. I want to know everything that led up to this.
I do too. I want to know the prequel about Homeboy. This is awesome.
The prequel, you're going to call it Water.
Yeah.
Watered down.
Watered down.
Oh, he fell into some snow.
Yes, he did. So it wasn't the fall that killed him. Clearly, it was the gunshot.
Yeah, man.
Look at another
And
5
then
years
5
later.
years later, whew,
I love it.
they're just
It's been
jumping.
9 years. This is a 9-year saga. This film spans like a decade.
Why would you come back there?
Why
Like,
would you go back?
Yeah.
like,
And they got kids now. They got like a 5-year-old. Maybe she was. I don't know why this kid looks way older than 5 years later. They didn't have kids 5 years ago, but now
this
you
kid's
got a
like 9 right
13-year-old.
here. Like, what the heck?
Yeah,
Yeah.
suddenly you got like a fucking 17-year-old kid 5 years later.
And then you got the like the snowman that's like the I forget the word I'm looking for. Fucking
Retarded.
Virgin Mary statue bleeding from the eyes.
Yeah. And so this is clearly a dream sequence. Like, look at how she's like, you know, Martha Stewart shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, and she's she finds the one perfect pebble to put in for the eye, and then it starts bleeding. I think this is meant to be a dream sequence, and that's why we can accept that, you know, maybe she's having one fleeting dream. I love that too. Like his face is
That's great right there at the end. Like,
exactly.
Is his eye bleeding right there too?
It looks
Is
like
it-
his eye is bleeding. Yeah.
if it's a dream sequence, you didn't need the 5 years later, like,
Yeah.
wording.
Yeah. Yeah. The 5 years later really makes it think like, okay, they're actually going back to this fucking cabin 5 years later. Hey, kids, this is where your auntie was presumably raped by your uncle who was crazed out on coke, and mommy was almost murdered here in the room upstairs, and daddy was stabbed right here in the kitchen. Seems like a very strange.
Yeah. You're asking for it. Like, why do you keep going back?
Yeah. And there's no way that guy bakes himself into a snowman and you don't know about it. You're like, oh, this cabin comes with a pre-made snowman. Let's go put the eyeball on.
It was almost like they filmed that later, like they needed that got you ending. Like they didn't know how to end the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sort of like all the Friday the 13th end with that sort of like dream sequence, sort of person. And then another reason why it's like, is this meant to be like a referential of the films that came before? I mean, keeping in mind that this is a late 80s slasher. This was filmed in what, 87, I think? Feels like they had the benefit of the slasher genre being roughly 10 or so years old at that point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe some of these coincidences aren't, or maybe some of these similarities aren't coincidental. I'm entertaining the idea at least.
We're trying to give them good. We're trying to give them credit. I did notice one thing in the credits. This explains part of it. There is a film to tape transfer guy credited in here for like taking the film and putting it to tape, which means they edited on tape. That's probably why the film doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, yeah, you could be right.
They processed that film and put it to tape to edit it.
It could have been a straight to VHS release.
This didn't get a U.S. domestic theatrical release.
There you go.
Yeah,
you called it, buddy.
Yeah,
now that makes a lot more sense then.
So
but here's the thing: why do you think? I mean, I know the answer to this, but why do you think Vinegar Syndrome put this on Blu-ray?
I don't think they do DVDs anymore.
They don't really, they don't do DVDs. I get that would be the thing is they just don't do DVDs. So
what's their print run on VHS? I mean, they do DeGosser VHSs. They did a VHS.
Yeah. They did a VHS.
But their low print runs are like 300 copies.
Yeah, it was much lower than that.
Yeah, they
but
still
even
have
this was only like what 2,000 or 3,000.
Yeah,
like,
they still have this on VHS too. That VHS that I'm actually considering getting it, but just because it like lights up or some crap too.
Yeah, this has it's only got like 57 available left, and they only made 4,000 units.
Yeah.
The VHS is 23 still available.
Yeah, they made 4,000 of the limited edition. They will do more prints of the standard edition of the ICE Blu-ray. That's the only way they sell those VHS. They know people aren't going to actually put them in and watch them. So like, we better make them light up. So like, people feel like they got their $50 worth.
I was going to say, I thought about I was going to get the rad one at one point, I think. And then, I don't know, the box just looks cheap, I guess.
Yeah.
They have a Beastmaster one too.
Yeah, that Beastmaster I think is still available. That artwork is awful.
Yeah, I agree with you. That the artwork on the outside of that Beastmaster VHS is shite. I mean, at least with ICED, it's got the same artwork as the Blu-ray itself, which I really like that artwork.
I really like the artwork too. I think the artwork for ICE is absolutely incredible. Even does the back of that one of the slipcover have the snowman? Yep. See? I think that artwork is fantastic.
Yeah, that artwork is sick. Let's be real about I like Vinegar Syndrome. I think we all do. Chase definitely does, enough to subscribe. It's not a knock on Vinegar Syndrome, but like the art is really like, usually it's a good deal better than the movie itself. It's like, I like ICED, but that fucking artwork is sick. And I think they moved a lot of units just like off of that.
They move a lot off of, to me, it's three things. It's nostalgia, film preservation, and the artwork, which plays into the nostalgia because of people like me who back in the day, and I've said this before, it's hard for people to understand. You didn't have the internet to look up movies or anything like that. So you went into the movie rental place and you saw badass artwork and you flipped it around and maybe you got 2 sentences on the back of the VHS tape to pick out these movies. And back at that time, there was so much stuff shot directly on like VHS that went straight to the movie rental stores, like independent stuff, like Boarding House and like all these movies. That's the only thing you saw. So they're playing off, to me, that's the three things. They do outstanding film preservation work, which is something I get behind.
Yeah.
Artwork, something I get behind, and nostalgia and the artwork plays into that. That's how they move stuff right there, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I'll give them and I'll give them all the credit in the world. Like, this movie was lost to time until they re-released it. Like, I'm looking up the original VHS right now, and even the original VHS had cool art. Not as cool as what they're doing now, but it was like the girl in the hot tub's face, like all frozen and shit.
Yeah. I saw some of that online too when I was looking for art assets to use for tonight's stream. I saw the frozen Wednesday face, and that was pretty fucking sick shit back then.
The ICE VHS is actually cheaper right now on Orbit. It's only $39.
Yeah, that's where I saw it. I'm probably going to grab it there, but if I pick it up. But that, again, I probably will watch it just to see how it looks, but I wouldn't be buying it to like watch it. Really,
no, that's more of a display. The ICE VHS is definitely more of a display thing.
Yeah,
I think so too. Especially since this looked like VHS. Like, you got the VHS experience with this.
Mhm.
And to be fair, I do have a couple. I say a couple. I have like two, like bootlegs of movies that on DVD that are VHS rips
Yeah.
that look 100 times worse than this.
Yeah.
Like the only way you could tell this was VHS is because it's interlaced,
Yeah.
and you can see that in the
But they
You can see the
play
interlacing,
into it.
especially in the
opening.
yeah, in the opening scene where it's like iced. And
Mhm.
in the we didn't see this tonight, but in the menu, the Blu-ray menu, when you're like about to push play or whatever, it's interlaced. It's like mad interlaced throughout that whole.
Oh, really?
It
They
also
like play it
says
up.
like insert tape or something instead of play. Like
Yeah, it
it's
says
this
insert tape.
insert tape.
Yeah.
But I like what they're doing because you were talking about it that recent list I did that has some of these movies like Hamburger, the motion picture. I watched that movie a million times growing up, saw it on TV. It's stuck on VHS. That
Yeah.
blew me away. That seems like a movie. They're rescuing this stuff that's lost, and that has value too.
I think that's something I appreciate about Vinegar Syndrome in general, that they've like even just in 2024 alone, I think, and somebody can feel free to correct me if I'm missing any, but I can think of 3 off the top of my head with Little Darlings, followed by Looking for Mr. Goodbar and The Keep, were all 3 films that had never before been released into a disc format besides
Nope.
Laserdisc, but you know, I'm not really counting that like a modern disc format.
Yeah.
So like Little Darlings, if you didn't buy it on VHS in 1995, fuck you. Same thing with The Keep. If you didn't get that on VHS in 1986, go fuck yourself.
Mhm.
And same thing with Looking for Mr. Goodbar. So like the work that they do, and I mean I remember watching Little Darlings and thinking, holy fuck, like this is it's an excellent film, does not deserve to be stuck and like lost to history. So I mean I'll buy a movie any day like Iced. I mean, no, it's not a great movie. Like Schindler's List is a great movie. I have a hard time watching that, right? Because it's like
Yep.
little Jewish girl gets shot in the street. Like that's hard. Like that's difficult to watch. Iced is not a good movie, but that's a fucking easy watch. Like you
Yeah.
crack a cold beer and watch Iced, and that is an easy fucking. You know you're gonna see some cool kills. The fucking thing coming through the guy's throat. Yeah, I saw it first in the Friday the 13th.
Friday, yep.
Yeah, but you know it's like okay. It's a little bit of like copy paste to some other stuff, but like it's got Wednesday's boobies and you know
you
they
got
really
booty meat?
booty meat. They threw everything at the wall. They got a weird killer. Like nothing really makes sense. But honestly, the couple of things that I really loved about this movie, on top of it being kind of rescued from obscurity, which kind of describes a lot of Vinegar Syndrome stuff. Like 90% of their shit is like being rescued from obscurity. But I really like the dreamlike quality of this. I know we kind of criticized a little bit some of the shots and like why would they make a decision to put the camera here and not do cutaways and do a little
Yeah, but that's just low budget filmmaking of the time, you know.
yeah. And
Mhm.
I'll give them credit too for like the vibe wound up like the culmination of the like all of the sum of all the parts wound up being almost kind of dreamlike. I mean, even like that smoky, like the fog machine with the it really had a very like this is a fever. This whole thing felt like a fever dream to me.
Yeah.
It's like you kind of accept it, but it doesn't make it like you've ever woke up from a dream and thought like, why like what the fuck was that about? But like when you're in it, you're like, you're bought, you're sold. You're like, I'm buying this. Then you wake up and you're like, why the fuck was I scared of my grandma's teeth in that dream? Like it was like an enchanted necklace. It doesn't make any sense, but you wake up from some dream because you
Mhm.
were on drugs the night before, you know?
Like, why is my
Yeah,
finger bleeding with all this cocaine around me?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like there's definitely parts of it that I still am not convinced it was happening or someone was imagining it was happening or dreaming that it was happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they definitely dove into that dream.
Yeah.
Dream, fever dream, fantasy, you know.
A lot of characters like waking up after a scene. Like the
After,
very
yeah.
next shot is a character waking up. So it's a lot of like, were we just watching a dream or was it actually unfolding? I think there's a lot of subjectivity that you could talk about with this film where, you know, we're kind of going in and out of somebody's, I don't know, somebody's dying visions of revenge or something. Like as Jeff rolled off the rock, the whole rest of the movie was a dream that Jeff had in his final moments, you know? I don't know.
Well, that the whole scene where where ponytail guy attacks Lisa Loring is like that's so weird because she's like into it and then he's kind of assaulting her, and then it
Yeah.
cuts outside and cuts back, and he's all dressed back, and she's like all sexy time getting in the hot tub.
Yeah, I'm gonna go feel my titties in the hot tub. Like,
What happened there? Like, what happened? Like, so, and honestly, like Brian said, I think a lot of it is sometimes they didn't know what they were doing. You had the director wanting to do one thing, the guy who wrote the script, who's also starring in the movie, wanting to do something else, and the camera guy not knowing what he's doing. And so, like, in some ways, a bunch of shit just kind of like, oh, well, that kind of accidentally worked together here, and that kind of worked together there. It's kind of shitty here, and it's kind of shitty here, but it's the kind of two shits that go together that make this other shit by accident. Like,
it's
kind
like,
of thing.
you know, in fine art, you know, when you make a collage and you're sort of drawing from things, you know, I think modern art had this movement a lot. I'm trying to remember the name of the guy, Derrida, or I don't know if it was one of these, you know, modern artists, French modern artists who, I think it was Derrida, who would, you know, he'd sort of find things and like it was like found art, and it was real like modernist shit. It was real like, you know, like nose in the air type of shit. But you know, like this idea of like collage and found art, of like sort of pulling things from various different places and sort of putting it together in this, like, you know, kind of creating your own vision out of all these sort of assembled parts. Um, this movie almost felt like the film version of that, where it's like, I don't know, it sounds cool. Just get naked and get in the hot tub. The killer's gonna throw a fucking toaster in there. You're gonna die dramatically. And then, you know, we'll film this other scene of the guy, like, maybe you're into it, maybe you're not. He's kind of choking you, pulling your hair. Do you like that? Do you not like that? And then they're just sort of like, I like that. Let's put that before her death scene, and you know, we'll create this sort of pastiche of scenes that are just maybe they don't make any sense. Really, they don't hold up to scrutiny. Like your dream when you wake up, it doesn't really hold up to scrutiny, but you know, it's just kind of weird and fun. And okay, cool. It's Wednesday's tits. End of the day, you
Yeah.
know, I gave you something, even if you don't like it. She died naked in a hot tub for you.
I was gonna say, do we know? I mean, Chase, you might know the answer to this. I don't know if you said it in our chat. Do you know how many days this took to shoot? Did you say like 18?
18. Yeah.
I mean, you can definitely tell which of those shots where you know, you're talking about why didn't they get this angle? Like a lot of those were just like no coverage, you know? It was almost like they got all the coverage at the beginning and then they were running out of time. It's like one shot, boom. Just do it.
I mean, I give them, I understand, because like they're shooting with film, so that takes longer. Like, because like when I do movies, it's always a 3-week shoot, 21 days, 18 film days. So we do 6 days in a week and 1 day off. So it's 18 days every time. And I mean, I could shoot way more, but I'm not having to load film. I'm not having to do anything. I'm not having to measure focus with a damn measuring tape or anything like that either. So, you know,
I love the idea of having a measuring tape to measure focal length, though.
you can't, like, if you didn't have a monitor, if you didn't have any way to watch a monitor through that thing, you had to measure focus with measuring tape. Which, and I mean, they were broke dick on that thing, so they may not have had any video village to watch anything.
Well, that's what I'm saying too. Like, if you're broke dick, if you're really just, you know, you're cobbling something together with the change that you found in your couch, like, you know, I mean, film stock's never really been cheap. I mean, that's always been a barrier to entry. And I think one of the things that, you know, when you talk about Vinegar Syndrome, you talk about it a lot, is how they, you know, they go back to, and DeGosser does this with a lot of the shot on video stuff, and some of the partner labels do this too, where they put out a lot of shot on video, and it really was that kind of like early to mid 80s boom of digital technology where people could buy a camcorder, and suddenly it became much cheaper to shoot a 2-hour feature film, where, you know, before in the 60s and 70s, like you weren't buying film stock and paying to have it developed and doing reshoots if you fucked something up, buying more film stock. So I mean, I think the barrier to entry was always the production cost, and you know, that might have just been one of those things where, like, hey, we're gonna do this in one take, and we're gonna put the camera way up here on the fucking wall, and you guys better all get in the frame because we only got enough money to shoot this once. And I don't know, I got a soft spot for that, I guess.
Oh yeah, I definitely have a soft spot because I have to to shoot. I've had to shoot plenty with no money and no time. So I have a soft spot. But it's like he said it was $150,000 budget in '87. So I looked it up. So adjusted for inflation, they were around $420,000 in today. That would be equivalent $420,000 budget, which is pretty decent. I mean, it's not for a low budget. It's definitely not a no budget film. I mean,
in 16 millimeter film, you got to think that's what, like 3 minutes a roll,
yeah,
maybe less.
yeah, probably about 3. But he said that it was like 2/3 of their budget was buying the film, processing the film, and the editing. That was 2/3 of their budget.
Yep.
So, and then they're going to pay those actors something.
Especially Lori, when she's going to get nude, she probably got paid the most.
If she was nude and having been Wednesday Addams, they definitely.
That was her Poison Ivy movie. That was her Drew Barrymore trying to get out of that kid actor E.T.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Yeah, that. I mean,
Now, I mean, had Roger Corman like been on set, like somebody that had filmed a bunch, like you do have to keep in mind the director said he had only ever made a couple of student films himself, and the DP had never shot anything.
Do you know how old he was when he directed this?
I do not know how old he was when he did that, but I mean, it's like a couple of student films kind of threw me because the guy obviously sounds older now talking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. But he's like, yeah, I had only done a couple of student films, and the DP hadn't done any. This was his first thing to shoot, so neither one of us had worked on a feature before. And so, like some of that, so like some of it is budget and time constraints. Some of it is just they didn't know. Like, like I look back, not that I'm like some big pro now, but like even like if I watch my movies sequentially, I can tell what I did not know in the first one compared to the second one, compared to the third one, the fourth one, or whatever. So, he's got his, in this case, his first time ever with no budget and all this stuff that he's trying to do with these action shots in the snow. And he's got all these people on location. He's like, fuck.
The director was born in 1951.
So he's born in 51. So he was like 35, 36 when they filmed it.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
So
like, that's not super young, but it still could be fairly inexperienced for this type of industry. And
I mean, it doesn't matter how old you are. If you've never made a film before, it doesn't matter if you're 20 or 40. It's probably going to look the same if you've never really had that much experience.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, if you've never had to shoot coverage of 6 people sitting in a room talking, I mean, when I was filming Dark Roads, I hired a DP to help me film when I was in scenes. We have a scene where they're all sitting around the campfire. The guy's trying to film, and I'm trying to tell him what to do. He melted down. Like I had to end up filming the scene that I was in, and like film and then go back and say my lines later because he couldn't visualize how to cover it. So if you don't know, you just don't know. Like and then you've got the pressure of the film. Like Brian said, you're going to burn through that canister if you don't film. If you don't know what you're doing, that's serious money.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's
anything with film back in the day. I mean, we joke like, oh, it looks like shit. It's a VHS tape, but I mean, there's elements to this that were shot like legit. So there's a much cleaner version, a much better looking version out there that we'll just probably never see because it just, like Chase, you said, it was transferred to tape, probably put straight to tape. So that 16 millimeter raw footage it's either gone or.
And even if you found it, you'd have to re-edit. I'm sure Chase is right that it was edited on tape.
Oh yeah, if it was edited on tape, they don't have the. Yeah,
I mean that feels like another cost-cutting move, right? Convert all your raw stuff to digital or whatever tape.
This is early digital.
Yeah, and then just do the editing there, and maybe save a buck. And I'm sure that's what they were thinking.
Mm-hmm.
But I've seen a lot of thanks to Vinegar Syndrome and partner labels, I've seen a lot of shot on video stuff the last couple of years that has made its way to Blu-ray, and I got to say, of all of the stuff that's kind of like that DeGosser level of, picture quality and maybe even like filmmaking experience and ability, of all of that stuff, I'll lump this in with other stuff like Video Murders and other crap, schlock that Vinegar Syndrome or a partner label has put out. This is easily like head and shoulders above that stuff in terms of enjoyment,
Oh yeah.
rewatchability.
I will say this is better than that Lindsay Lohan Canyon movie that they just re-released on
I
Blu-ray.
was thinking about picking that up. Is that not
Sorry,
good? It's
Neil,
directed by
I
Paul
watched
Schrader.
I mean, if you want to see Lindsay Lohan nude in it, yeah, it's worth that. But she's so pale, her titties, you can barely see her nipples because she's so pale.
So I didn't tell you why you have Creature Feature mine. I didn't tell you why I bought so my friend Tennille, who stars in Creature Feature, she is in that movie. She does a full nude scene. She gets killed. She's like I forget her name in the movie now, so she hopefully you don't see this. But she's like undressing and she walks into the bedroom and she like peeps back out and gets the guy to follow her in there. God, I can't remember. She gets killed in the movie though. So like I had to get it out of loyalty to her. But
Jason, it's starring 2 male porn stars, James Dean and somebody else who can't act for shit in a very serious part. It's the acting that ruins it more than anything.
Paul Schrader should know better than that though.
Okay, try it. I'll send you the DVD. I'm trying to get rid of it.
I bought it because but I'm a subscriber, so I didn't have to pay much for it. So I bought it.
You just rip it? Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Throw it online. I'll check it out.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
I mean, I'm just saying that. I mean, Paul Schrader is what attracted me to that in the first place because, obviously he's Paul Schrader. He's kind of a legend for what he's worked on, but it does seem odd that he would cast a porn star who can't act to act in a serious role.
Yeah, well, the movie doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense at all.
Tennille gets killed because of I don't want to spoil. I'm not spoiling it because you want to watch it, but it doesn't make sense. Things that get people mad, they were enjoying before. I don't know. I don't know.
Jason, I've seen the movie twice. I don't even remember anybody getting killed. All I remember is Lindsay Lohan.
You don't remember she gets killed. My friend Tennille gets killed.
I remember the foursome scene with all the crazy lights going off in the bedroom.
Oh yeah, that happens too.
So basically, what Brian's trying to say is, after he came, he had to go make a sandwich, kind of clean up a little bit, and he didn't pay attention to the rest of the film.
It's not good. It's not.
I was busy getting the pizza out of the oven. I burned the roof of my mouth. I couldn't pay attention. After I ejaculated, it was very difficult to pay attention to the rest of the movie.
You only watch that movie for one reason.
Thank you.
All
right, gentlemen, we are at the 2-hour mark. Do we have any final thoughts on ICE that we want to share with the audience that might be watching this?
It was much fun the second time with y'all than it was just by myself.
I think this is a film that would be fun to watch as a group, just having fun, shooting the shit.
Yeah, definitely alcohol helped, but no, it was much more enjoyable, going through it. This is a watch party movie, not a put it. Yeah,
that's what I try to tell Brian all the time when he's like, "Dude, that movie sucks." The dude that whatever movie we're talking about, and I'm like, "But is it shitty? But it's enjoyable." And that I try to explain this to people all the time. It's experience movies. It's watch with your friends. It's Friday night, you got pizza, beer, whatever, you got popcorn, you're laughing, you're talking about it just like this. You're like, oh shit, throwing popcorn. Oh, did you see that? It's it's that. It's that whole feeling that I always remember with these movies when I buy Vinegar Syndrome and movies like this.
Yeah, that's such a fun feeling too. It's that you can't capture that in a bottle. You really just gotta I don't know. It is one of the things that makes you love movies too. It's I had such a fun time watching this with these fuckers and blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
it looks like I've had the whole smoke. Maybe Jeff is in here.
The spirit of Jeff is definitely with you.
He is with me in here.
Jeff was here.
He was here.
Yeah, you definitely look like you're in a bar somewhere.
I don't know why either, but
he is awesome. I love it.
I almost texted you earlier today to ask you what your HD camera was because I was gonna get it, and now I'm like, no, probably not.
But this stream is not in 4K though. That's
true.
4K
StreamYard.
camera.
I'm not paying StreamYard that much. There's like an upper tier. They want more money to do this in 4K, and I'm like, fuck that.
I was about to say, when you told me it went up to 400, I was like, wait, I thought it went up to like 1,000 or something.
Yeah,
That's
it might have done
4K.
that for depending on how many licenses you get and also like what level of quality you want. But like I'm on the first tier, like the first paid tier. There's like the free tier where you don't get shit, and then there's the first paid tier, and that's where I'm sitting. Is that
Well,
the
there's that other one. I've considered getting it. I talked to Chase about it. It's that one, who is it? CHH uses it. It's like Stream.io or Restream,
Yeah.
something like that. I forgot the name of it.
Yeah, I heard
Off
of
the
that
top
one
of my
too.
head.
I think that's a similar service, but if it's cheaper, if it's a better value, then I'm about to kick StreamYard to the curb.
Yeah, because this is technically downscaling my
Yeah.
camera for
I
this.
still like blaming Jeff. I like the idea of blaming Jeff and not my cheap ass.
Yeah.
Jeff was here. Somebody in the chat said Jeff was here. Was
John. It was Jeff. It was Jeff.
Frank said, "Have you guys seen Nail Gun Massacres? Fun bear movie." I have heard somebody talk about that, but I haven't seen that one yet.
I don't know too many TerrorVision films, to be honest. I don't know if I've ever seen a TerrorVision film.
I got a couple.
Rumpelstiltskin would actually be a fun one to watch. Like this.
See, I've never seen that, and I would love to. I would love to just
Same.
blind watch that for the first time with you guys.
Like, let's do it.
We need to do it. That's a.
I've never seen Rumpelstiltskin.
That it is. I mean, it definitely. It's the same guy that did Leprechaun, so it definitely has the Leprechaun vibes to it. But it's definitely higher budget than Leprechaun was, though. Definitely way higher budget than this. Like,
yeah, that's what I heard. I don't know if it was.
Huh?
Did you do your review of it? You did your. Were that you?
Yeah.
I've seen so many reviews. Was it you that said they basically had so much money they just had to start doing stuff?
Yeah, that's what it looks like, because it becomes like this weird road movie. You got it, dude, like driving a damn chopper, and he's driving a big rig in another spot. And it's Rumpelstiltskin's like got his sunglasses. Dude, it's crazy. Explosions, fog, boobies. That's where I see the picture of the girl with no butt.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
that's not exactly a selling point, though.
It's not.
That was the one where I was like, she got a ass like a blown out tire on the interstate.
Yes,
Just
and
looked like
unfortunately, it is much lighter on the boobage than Rumpelstiltskin than Iced is.
I was about to say, because did we even see the blonde? Yeah, we saw her naked. I was about to say it was only like for a second, though, right?
Yeah,
no, we saw her bush. We saw we saw a bush of both, I think.
Yeah, we saw her riding the guy in the chair and everything.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, for sure.
I forgot about the chair scene.
Yeah,
that chair got pretty. That's you might
that
get
chair got. If you look at it, her legs are up here.
Oh yeah, she's like, yeah,
she's up there,
and
the Chase said it was like just barely a shadow hiding his junk.
Yeah, she's a black belt and a bodybuilder. She got flexibility.
You want to see one that is a blast from Vinegar Syndrome?
Oh yeah, that's the one. That's
this
the one.
This is.
I haven't seen that one.
This is some fun stuff. This is Brian. The guy turns his whole life's ambitions to make himself invisible. And what's the first thing any dude's gonna do once he turns himself invisible?
Oh, cash back that shit.
So
yeah, it is.
If you become invisible, are the fluids that come out of you also invisible? Can you ejaculate and nobody knows you're there, or is it like you're invisible in the girl's locker room and she's looking over and suddenly she just sees this jizz start
a fountain?
it's just a cum shot coming out of nowhere. It's like, what the fuck?
Why do I get my mind went straight to? Do you remember Scary Movie 2 when Tori Skilling was fucking the ghost and everything? He's riding the ceiling, and then at the end you just see him smoking a cigarette, and you see the smoke coming out of his mouth.
Yeah. This would be a crazy watch along right here, because
that one's out of print, huh? That one, that one came out a while ago. Right?
I think you can get it with. I don't think you can't get the slip cover anymore. Yeah. You can just get, but it's a 4K too.
4K, yeah. That's what's up. I think this after discussion really illuminates how we're just barely scratching the surface.
Yes.
All of the fucked up and awesome movies we could watch.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
and they're very
So
fun to
many.
watch.
We could. What is it? We should watch what's that one you just said? I got the Blu-ray coming in. Private Lessons.
Oh yes, controversy.
Have you ever seen that one, Jay?
That's the one with like the 10-year-old boy and like the 30-year-old lady.
15 and 15 and
Yeah.
30. Yeah.
That one's a lot more risque than like My Tutor, because My Tutor, he's like older.
Yeah, he's legal age.
Yeah,
So it's like,
in this one, he's literally like a 13-year-old boy.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like, well, do you ever see that movie Melina with Monica Bellucci?
I don't think I've seen Melina.
You like it, Jay. It's set
like
in
Monica
like
Bellucci.
World War II. You like Monica Bellucci is naked a lot, and it's basically about a kid who's obsessed over her.
It's just completely understandable.
that's
The
God,
ending of the movie will mess you up. So I'm not even going to spoil what the end of the movie is, but she goes through, like, she should have been nominated for an Oscar. Monica Bellucci for her performance at the end.
No shit.
it's there was another one on there too. I wish I could find for us, but it's still stuck on. Oh no, it's not stuck on VH. It's Hots. Not Hots.
Hot Moves.
Hot Moves. Like, God, people are complaining on my video that it's like that's like $100 out of print Blu-ray.
I
$200.
almost bought it. I literally almost bought it the other day, and I was like, got to be good. I just have a feeling that one's going to come back, but I almost bought the VHS because the VHS was like $20.
Yeah, that's a Revenge of the Nerds. John Doe said this went straight from VHS to 4K, that's a big jump.
I mean,
That's the Little Darlings, the keep jump right there.
Yeah.
Revenge of the Nerds 2, the second one, it got a DVD, but it never got a standalone DVD. It only came in like a double pack. Like, we technically still have not got Revenge of the Nerds 2.
We're never going to get Revenge of the Nerds. We may never get Revenge of the Nerds 1 on 4K because of that, of the problematic scenes in it. And it's got the Queen music in it too. That doesn't help.
I feel like nowadays, you know, like we could point it like he probably shouldn't have pretended to be someone else when he boned the chick. But like, I feel like the legal stuff, like the music clearance, is the biggest thing. Like that's what I think
it's the music clearance. Yeah.
Thriller is in that movie too. So you got Thriller by Michael Jackson. You got We Are the Champions by Queen. You've got some big songs in that movie.
Yeah, it's just wild that they have to re-clear all of this stuff for like new formats. It is just it's unfortunate too, because I think a lot of like really good movies wound up getting held back just because
because music licensing's changed since the 80s. Like what would have cost them, you know, a few $1,000s back then is now a couple $100,000 today, and they got to get permission.
That's
so
a problem.
Changes it up. Yeah,
that's why we can't get Murphy Brown on DVD.
That's why we're probably never going to get Supernatural on 4K. I was a fan of that show, but God, all the classic rock they play in that show.
Does that even have a Blu-ray?
It's got a Blu-ray. I don't have it.
I don't see too many TV shows coming to 4K though. I think they're testing the waters with the more pristine ones.
I mean, Friends. Seinfeld? I mean, it's like I feel like something like Sopranos would be a much better, or any of those prestige HBO shows that were actually like shot.
That was shot like movies, but not stuff shot like Friends was done like a laugh track in a studio.
Yeah, it just feels weird to do a 4K of, you know, something like that. That's like, you know,
like Big Bang Theory, Friends. Like I can see those just staying on Blu-ray, but like it's like you said, like the HBO ones. Hell, I want Californication on Blu-ray.
I want Californication, yeah.
And like a legit Blu-ray. It's got a German one, but I've read tons of vlogs about how it's like some people have audio issues on some disc and some, you know, some don't, and it's like it makes me scared to import it.
That's a show Jay would like right there.
Oh yeah, opening episode, he gets blown by a nun. It's literally the opening scene of the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You have my attention.
Oh, that doesn't even touch.
That doesn't even, bro. That's
one of my favorite books of all time. I'm gonna pimp. If you guys like reading, I'm a voracious reader. I love to read, and one of my favorite books, fiction at least, is called Fierce Invalids Home from Hot Climates, and he fucks a nun in the ass in that one because she doesn't want to, like, she's like, I'm a nun, you can't get in my vagina, but like, if you want the back door, then take the back door. And he's like, okay. So yeah, he fucks a nun in the ass. And
I'll
she's
be
cool
honest,
with it.
I don't even remember the first sentence of what you said in that title.
Fierce Invalids Home from Hot Climates.
Yeah,
Fierce
that's like,
Invalids.
you're speaking Greek to me right now.
Well, he convinces a dude to touch his penis and he dies because he's cursed. So he's like, it's a great book. I have to Fierce Invalids Home from Hot Climates is the name of the book. So he gets cursed. He goes to like the South America, like ayahuasca trip, and the shaman curses him. And he says, if you put your feet on the ground again, you're going to die. And he cursed the other dude. And he's like, if you touch a penis ever again, you're going to die. And so the guy, he's the main character. He's like a CIA agent. And he talks to the other guy. He's like, this has got to be bullshit, right? So he talks to the guy into touching his penis. The guy touches his penis and drops dead. So he's like rolling around in a wheelchair the rest of the book. He's like, I'm not fucking touching the earth with my feet ever again because I just watched a guy die when he touched my dick. The book is so fucking off the wall. It's incredible. You got to read it. Fierce Invalids Home from Hot Climates. I recommend it very highly. And he fucks a nun in the ass. I mean, the book is just fucking gonzo.
No, it's $18 on Amazon.
It is very difficult book to put down. I think I paid less than that. I think I paid like 10 or 12 for the paperback, but excellent book. Excellent book. Very difficult to put down. I could not put that book down. I just had to keep reading it until it was done.
And then were you done after?
Were you
I
done?
was done several times throughout too. I mean, it's a couple hundred pages, and there's no way I'm lasting that long.
Dude, I tried to read Paradise Lost once. Jesus, that took forever.
Okay, yeah, but that's Paradise Lost. I don't believe any. This guy's like got like a boner for his stepsister too. It's like his younger stepsister, and he's got like a mad boner for her, and he's like he wants to be the one to take her virginity and shit. He's like the most fucked up protagonist of anything you've ever seen, but he's really likable, even though he's like fucking nuns in the ass and wants to deflower his younger stepsister, who's not related to him by blood, but
sounds like a Game of Thrones episode.
Yeah.
It does.
It's an excellent book, though. I highly recommend it. It's good stuff, and I highly recommend Iced. It's a stupid movie. It's not a great movie, but it's an enjoyable film, as we proved tonight.
Especially with a group watch or
yeah. Watch it with friends. Don't watch it. I mean, you can watch it alone.
Get friends, get beer, get whiskey, get pizza, and you're gonna have a great night.
Get the VHS because it probably doesn't look any different.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, you can get that too. Yeah,
you'll get a more nostalgic feel watching it on a tube TV with the lines and everything.
I have to buy a tube TV. I haven't had a CRT TV since like 2013. I think I got rid of mine in 2012 or 2013.
Dude, I've been looking for a CRT TV. I'm like going. I didn't know this, but estate sales here, you can go online and kind of preview like what's there before. That's cool. I've seen a couple with some CRT TVs. Because originally I wanted like a combo VCR, and then my Terrifier 3 got stuck in the VCR day one. So I was like, it's easy to fix if you have a VCR. You just take the top off and pop it out. But if it's connected to the TV, you're fucked.
Yeah, what can you do?
Over here. And Brian, I reckon you take another look. The Canyons.
Bro, I got that in my pile to toss.
Your purge pile?
It's literally in the purge pile. Lindsay Lohan naked cannot save that movie from me.
Oof.
She is so pale you can barely see her titties. It looks like a mannequin.
That part's true for sure. I got up to get it. I thought it was over there. I actually put it away like I was supposed to. Thought it was sent over by the TV.
No, I think I actually tried to rewatch it when they announced it, but I'm like, wait, it's a Blu-ray and it's the same scan as the Blu-ray I can get for $12 down the street at the thrift shop.
Yes, but this
just it comes with different artwork.
To have this.
It's all about.
I don't like that artwork though either.
It's all about the slipcover.
It's I like the subscriber deal. I got this for like $12. So yeah.
I do have one Vinegar Syndrome slipcover, one that I bought by mistake that's out of print that I was like might be on the way to one of you guys.
Hey, I need your address, by the way. I'm sending you a birthday gift.
Which one?
Well, who was it? Chase's birthday 2 days ago, or yours?
Oh, well, his birthday's coming up. That's why I was confused.
Mine was a month ago. Mine was.
I'll text you my new address.
All right, yeah, word. Because I've got a birthday gift that arrived, and I got to put it in another envelope. It came with some of my shit, and so I got to take
it
my
comes
shit
in an
out,
envelope?
take your shit out, and put your shit in an envelope.
Oh yeah, I don't have Brian's new address either. He's trying to hide
Yeah.
from us now.
He
That's
is. He's like off the grid. The whole reason he moved is because I got his address the first time, and I've been sending him old-fashioned prints of my scrotum.
Xerox
From the
you were
1930s.
setting on the copy machine.
Sending me pictures from the 1930s. I've seriously watched that movie like 10 times.
Which one?
The one you sent me, The Awful Truth.
Oh, The Awful Truth. Good for
Yeah.
you, man. I'm fucking.
I actually
was
really
worried you hated it, and you were like, I got to be fucking polite.
no, like I
That'd be
legit.
his favorite fucking
legit
movie of
liked
all time. I got to be nice.
So
It's legit the oldest movie in my collection.
That's fucking cool too.
have you seen the sort of spin like remake that what Gerard Butler
Yeah,
and
I saw it one time, but definitely not.
scene in that
revisiting
movie is where she's got on the vibrating underwear and he's got
Yeah, but that's not a remake though, because they're totally different movies.
that.
yeah,
They're like,
it's an inspired by
there's
thing.
there's one that was in the 50s that was, oh fuck, what did they call it? It's based on the same stage play. So like Awful Truth, the one with Irene Dunn and Cary Grant was based on a stage play, like a Broadway play from I don't know, a decade earlier or 5 years earlier. They did another movie in the 50s that wasn't a remake of The Awful Truth, but it was another like film adaptation of the original screenplay. So they're basically sister films. And I'm trying to fucking remember the name of the movie because it's not The Awful Truth. It sounds nothing like it. It's like a totally different title, but it's supposed to be the same title as the original stage play. And I got to pick that up. I think Warner Archive put that out. I got to pick that one up on Blu-ray.
Have either of y'all seen the movie Baby Doll from 1956?
I haven't seen that.
No.
It's Tennessee Williams.
I'm surprised I haven't seen it, man.
It's based off of Tennessee. I think it got banned at a while. It's extremely sexual for like 1950s. Like you watch it, you're like, wow.
I think Tennessee Williams laid pipe.
Oh yeah.
Oh, after this, yeah.
Yeah.
After seeing this, I'm like, yeah. But I know it was based off a play. I know that, but I would it doesn't go as far as like I guess Lolita, but
Oh, yeah. I look, it's all the same look over there. Like,
Yeah. Well, you have my attention at Lolita. That was a little later, though. I don't think that was 50s, was it? That was
no. That was 62.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say that was a little bit later.
the guy from The Good and the Bad and the Ugly is in it.
Yeah. I always think of him as like an old, like I know him like an old. He was the old man in what was that movie? The Holiday. I just saw the rewatch The Holiday over Christmas with my sister. Like the old movie star actor guy that Kate Winslet was like became friends with. I always think of him as like an old man now.
He lived to be 98.
Yeah, he was probably still acting then too. Is it Dick Van Dyke like 100 right now or something?
I mean,
he's close to it.
is he still kicking?
Yeah, he just did
Like
he just won an Emmy like a couple weeks ago.
Holy shit.
He's like 99 or something.
Gotta be something about hosting that Rockin' New Year's Eve.
Are y'all gonna get the Sound of Music on 4K?
Oh yeah, I am. I love that movie. I love that soundtrack.
Jace, I see your face.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of exploitative 80s trash cinema that I still haven't bought from Vinegar Syndrome yet. So I don't know. You put that up against Julie Andrews, and yeah, I mean, she was Mary Poppins and all, but come on, I don't know.
There is a movie that it's going to be on my neck. It's my 70s version of the 80s one I just did. You guys should if you've never seen 10 with Bo Derek.
Oh, I know.
Oh, yeah.
I know 10.
Yeah.
I
you see-
definitely know the cover. It's her running down the beach in that tan.
yes, that's the most iconic thing. That's mostly all that people know about it. But like, you see Julie Andrews basically topless in that movie.
Nice.
Like-
Well, there you go.
You know, there's another movie. I don't know the name of it, but Jay, you know the girl from, because you cock teased me with this, you put it as your thumbnail. The girl from Conan the Destroyer,
Olivia Diabo. Yeah.
Olivia Diabo. She did a movie with Bo Derek.
No shit.
Yeah, she was a lot more naked.
Nice.
Bolero?
Yeah. Well, I mean, she was not old enough to be naked. when
No,
did
she was
Bolero.
not old enough to.
It was Bolero.
Quite
wasn't it?
young.
I wasn't gonna say that, but I don't even know the name of the movie.
I like the picture that I used too. It's like her like crying. It's
What's
like
her name?
she looks miserable.
It-
She's like,
I don't. What was her name? Jay.
Olivia Diabo.
Yeah, she was like what 16 when she was in
I
when
am.
she did Conan.
Yeah, it was like 15 or 16. And I
That-
don't think that would have stopped Arnold because he was
No,
fucking
that was
I
see through. Her whole outfit was see through when she Bombata.
Yeah, it's what I thought it was. It's Bolero, and that movie
Bolero. Yep.
basically it's past softcore. Like it's past softcore. And Bo Derek and her husband are the ones who like wrote and funded and did
I
everything.
was
for
gonna say
the
Bo
movie.
Derek was like naked throughout that whole movie.
Oh yeah,
Is
she
that
chose
the one
to
where
make-
she like culturally appropriated those cornrows, or am I thinking of a different movie?
No, I think
Oh,
you're.
that's 10 where she's running.
Yeah,
up-
yeah, I was gonna say, I think
Yeah,
it's 10, yeah.
That's what I was thinking. She culturally appropriated them cornrows, man.
Mhm.
I don't know if we're gonna get that on 4K now.
That run, but that run,
Cultural appropriator, dude.
everybody knows that where she's run up the beach. That's like most people.
Yeah, that's the most iconic scene in the whole movie.
Mhm.
Bro, if you think about Conan the Destroyer, like how rated R that movie should have been with the ending, with how phallic the bad guy was with the whole thing.
Yeah. And then the only way to kill him was to rip his dick off.
Exactly.
Like you had like Arnold, you know, he's like cutting him, slashing him, that ain't doing nothing. Rip his dick off, and then he dies. He bleeds out his
And then he
dick hole.
turns into a giant vagina because you see the like his
Yeah,
face
it's
is
like
like
open and yeah.
it's open. Yes.
And even at that size, I still couldn't find the clitoris. I'm still like, where the fuck? I think it's a mystery. It's a fucking myth, like Bigfoot. It doesn't fucking exist. It's like the fucking Yeti. It's nowhere to be found. That thing was 10 feet tall.
That thing was
That
huge.
clit
It's
was
like,
the size of a speed bag, and I just told him like, I can't.
you can't
I'm
find it.
sorry, guys.
She's in that movie. She's a. Damn, I don't guess I realized that was the same girl in Conan the Destroyer that's in Bolero.
Well, she was way younger. Well, she was in Bolero. She talked with like a really weird, like Ukrainian accent. She talked with like a real voice or something, or some weird.
Okay, maybe that's why I'm not like Anna de Armas is next level
Oh,
hot.
don't even get me started on Anna
Do
de
you
Armas.
like Bond movie? I do like Bond movies.
I will say,
Bond.
Knock Knock, as bad as the movie is, she looks absolutely perfect in that movie.
Yeah.
Oh, Anna de Armas.
Yeah, I think the premise of that movie is genius. Like Knock Knock is I think the ending ruins the whole movie, but that concept is to me genius.
Yeah.
It's just he didn't pull it off right.
I just watched Skyfall on a loop.
Dude, Skyfall and
Skyfall.
Casino Royale, only two great Daniel Craig movies.
Yeah, I agreed. And I can
Arnold
just
got some good pussy. Yeah, Arnold did.
I can listen to Adele. I can listen to Skyfall. Just fucking
Skyfall.
such a good song. I remember thinking like, yeah, like Adele is talented and everything, but like she's not really for me. I'm not her demographic. And then Skyfall hit, and I was like, this is for me. This is 100%. She made this one just for me, so I would appreciate her. Chris Cornell, yeah, you know my name. That's a fucking great one too.
Adele to me is really good when she's going through a heartbreak.
Yeah, she's not even recognizable anymore, though, right? She
Oh no, she lost
her.
all that weight. She's dating She
She eating carrots like fucking Wednesday now. It's like, this is all I'm having: carrots and a glass of wine.
And the way that was framed in the movie, and she just keeps.
Oh, she knew what she was doing. She knew
The
what
fact
she
that
was.
we both thought it was sausage the first time we saw it is like, oh
Mhm.
yeah, it's a dick, right? It's fucking sausage, you know. She practicing. She's warming up.
It's all it. I saw a video of yours where you were talking about this movie right over here on 4K.
Which film?
Speaking of Arnold, somebody in the comments talking about Arnold getting pussy. The story about this, the Red Sonja, the Man of Steel book, this Steel book here.
Yeah.
Dude,
that
I'm
one. That's
waiting.
the
I
info
keep
now.
debating on getting that because I
almost
know
got
it's going to
that.
get a re-release in the U.S. soon.
So
That's
good.
what I
Yeah,
was waiting for. I was just waiting for that
that
U.S.
is so good though. That's like one of the best. Like didn't
is
even put any art, didn't even put a name, didn't put the title of the movie. It's just the artist's signature down there at the bottom.
Good. The
Yeah,
best
but I like that.
steelbooks don't put the title. Just
I like that J card though, because the J card's like a little box it sits
Yeah.
in, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I'd rather a
Yeah, like
J
the
card
Hitler.
do that than like just be a sleeve that you can lose.
Oh, I just put all my J cards. I have like a bin, and I just put all my J cards. The only reason I keep the J cards is because they list the special features.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got a
keep
bin
mine.
that I keep most of them in too. I just keep this one. But Arnold and Brigitte on that, like in his book, I read his book several times. In his book, he talks about how he basically he was already with Maria Shriver, but he nailed her for the month that he was on this movie, and then she followed him back to Hollywood. After
Damn.
that, he pawned her off on the Stallone.
And Stallone married her, dude. Shit.
What's his name married her too? Tony Scott married her. Bridget Nelson?
Oh yeah.
Or he dated her
Yeah.
during Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh, yeah,
right.
she was in that movie. No shit.
Mm-hmm. Did he marry her? I can't remember. I know he dated her.
She is like tall and banging in Beverly Hills Cop 2, man. Like she's got that short blonde 80s badass chick haircut and everything that she was still sporting in Rocky 4.
Dude, do you remember when they were supposed to remake that with Megan Fox as the Queen and Rose McGowan as Red Sonja?
Yeah, Rose McGowan was supposed to be Red Sonja for the longest time.
Mm-hmm. And Megan Fox was supposed to be the Queen.
That was back before I got like really jaded on remakes and shit. Now I'm just like, don't fucking do it. Leave it alone.
Anytime
I don't really care that much anymore.
See, there's some like if I see somebody they want to remake an Arnold or a Stallone movie or something like that, I'm like, you're just going. It has no opportunity to succeed.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why do you want to throw money? Just donate it to the fucking cancer kids or something. If
They're
you're gonna
remaking
burn money, like give it to somebody.
They're remaking Running Man right now with Glenn Powell.
Good luck. May the odds be forever in your favor. Rob Zombie already remade it once with the movie 31. He just made it into a horror movie. It is the exact same movie.
Yeah, but that's taking it and doing something different with the premise, not making the exact same movie.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, I don't think like there's no way I would say, this is a really iconic role for Arnold. Do you want to come play it in a remake? No.
No.
Like I just don't feel you are in a no-win situation. I feel like with that.
I've never really seen Running Man.
Oh, you got to watch that one.
What the fuck?
Jesus, criminy!
I'm gonna load that. I'm gonna rip that one and load it for you too. And I honestly, I feel like I was gonna say, if we want to do this again, maybe we should do this like, I don't know, once a month feels doable. Maybe a little bit more often if we wanna. But like, God damn, Brian, I feel like, I don't know, man. There's so many movies over here.
I don't even feel like I know you anymore.
I'm a late 80s baby.
Dude,
Late
Running Man. Oh my God. It is like extraordinarily like actually pertinent for right now days too. Like it's that one's one you gotta see. That's a Stephen King story.
Yeah,
too.
that was a Richard Bachman short story, I think.
You're not selling me with Stephen King.
This one, it's good. It's good.
It's definitely worth watching for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I want to check it out. He's got a few movies I haven't seen. I haven't seen Running Man. I haven't seen, is it Raw?
Raw Deal?
Raw Deal. Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
Man.
Raw Deal's okay. I like Raw Deal. I like Red Heat. Have you seen Red Heat? I like Red Heat is
good.
I mean, I'm
odd.
so I like them all, but
No, I got a lot of catching up to do. I know.
What's
but
wrong with you kids these days?
what is wrong with y'all?
Eraser is like top 3 Schwarzenegger for me.
Mhm.
Partly because
I mean-
Vanessa Williams' fine ass.
I mean, Eraser's certainly better than some of the stuff he did. You know, like End of Days, kind of
Yeah.
Collateral Damage, that era, that like
Mhm.
very late 90s, early 2000s era, like pre-gubernatorial Arnold, but like post Batman and Robin Arnold. That was like
See,
a
I
weird
love Batman
time.
and Robin Arnold.
You're not putting me in the cooler.
Everything freezes.
Dude, those one-liners. Dude, I was like 13 when that movie I was less than 13 when
Yeah,
that
and I
movie
mean, I
came out. I was like
understand
10 when that movie came out. That was a perfect age for that movie.
I can appreciate the allure of Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy, and you know, I
Yep.
can appreciate that because
I lost a lot of flower seeds to Poison Ivy. And don't get me started on Alicia Silverstone.
Did they put nipples on her bat suit, or was it just George Clooney? She had nipples.
No, she had nipples. They weren't indented like I mean, they were indented, but they weren't like carved out. But
Yeah.
no, she basically had like camel toe almost when they showed her belt.
I'll have to Google that to be sure that you're not lying to me right
Put the 4K in.
now. I do not have.
Oh my
that.
gosh. I'm just sitting here. I'm still trying to recover from Eraser as a top 3 Arnold movie.
I love Eraser. Maybe not top 3. That's maybe
Maybe
a
a
little
while
exaggerated, but it's top. It's top for me.
Yeah, Terminator 2.
I think Terminator 1 is overrated.
Total Recall.
Commando?
Right, that's the end of this stream. Huh.
What about Commando? He cuts the top of a dude's head off by throwing a fucking saw blade like a goddamn frisbee. Cuts the top of the guy's head off.
That is incredible.
It's been I own Commando on DVD, I think.
Just the whole scene where he's putting on the
Yeah.
war makeup, you know, like
It's like 25 minutes, like
yeah,
like fucking 45 guns on this motherfucker.
let off some steam, Bennett.
I love that shit.
Dude, that is incredible. Like it'd be a while before I got to Eraser. Running Man, Total Recall,
Total Recall's up there. Total Recall.
Twins, Last Action Hero. I'd have a lot.
I think Eraser is one of the. It's like all those ones are just obvious ones, but Eraser to me falls into. I don't know. That was one of those really cool HBO movies I would catch late at night as a kid.
Oh, I mean, I like Eraser. Listen, I'm an Arnold fan.
Fucking James Caan is the bad guy. Schwarzenegger fights a crocodile in that movie.
God, Conan 2, or Kindergarten Cop.
See, I'm somebody who I love Conan 2 way more than the first one.
Honestly, I got a buddy when Arrow was releasing the both Conan films like a year ago, a little bit more than a year ago. He was like, "Yo, I'm putting in a pre-order for Conan the Barbarian." I'm like, "You're not getting the complete Chronicles?" He's like, "Nah, man, Destroyer's a piece of shit." I was like, "Okay, first of all, you're a piece of shit. Second of all, that movie, I know it's not as good. You know, like ICED is not a good film. It's an enjoyable film. Conan the Destroyer is not a good film. It's an enjoyable film. I will buy that film for $40 on 4K every day of the week just for the camel bopping scene.
Yes.
He brains that goddamn camel. He tries to apologize. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry about what happened," and then it spits the white glue all over him, and he's like, that killed me as a kid. Like for me, like at 8 years old, that was peak comedy. Was Arnold just fucking bashing this camel over the head? I fucking pissed my pants to that movie more times than I care to admit.
Dude, that cinematographer literally has a whole documentary about himself. Like that cinematographer was like one of the best cinematographers who ever shot anything.
I do like Conan the Destroyer. I think there's actually a lot of good humor in it too. Like they take themselves as seriously as Barbarian. Because there's one scene where like they're about to rescue Grace Jones's character and she's tied up. So they're letting her kind of fight, but she's also kind of handicapped. And there's like 8 dudes or whatever. And Olivia Diabo's character's like, this isn't fair. There's 10 against 1. And Conan starts to count. He's like 1, 2, 3. I think you're right. So like he couldn't count to 10. So he's just like 1, 2, 3. Oh, I think you're right. Like it's just like he's just fucking such an idiot. Like he can waste anybody with a sword, but like don't ask him to count to 10. I love that scene.
Arnold that movie though. He hates it because they were, the
Shouldn't.
comics and everything were much more like the original movie, like harder, like.
Yeah.
and-
I think that's what I liked about it because as a kid, it was the more fun version
Yeah.
of the movie. So the first one was darker. So when
Oh.
you're like a kid in Blockbuster, like
Yeah.
6, 7 years old, picking it out, you want
It's
the
a little
more
heavier.
fun. Yeah, the
The
first one's
story
way
just kind of
heavier.
flows. It's a little bit. I love the scene where they're like debating about the wizards trying to open the thing. I mean, he's like talking to his friend Malik. He's like, kill him. He's like, nah, it's bad luck to kill a wizard. Like, we don't have a problem with taking a human life. I just don't want any bad luck on me for killing the guy who's a wizard. Like, they're just so cavalier about killing another human being. He's like, it's bad luck. I can't kill a wizard. It's bad luck.
Bro, the one Arnold movie that I want so bad, it's my favorite part in The Last Action Hero, is his Hamlet. I want the Schwarzenegger Hamlet movie.
To be
Or
not.
not to be. Not to be.
That is so good.
I
That is so
love
good.
that scene. Like, I'd watch the whole movie of that.
That was shot kind of like Sin City style almost.
Yeah, where it's like
Before
blue
that was
and
a
it's just
thing.
all you see is the colors of like the
Mhm.
muzzle flash and everything and the
Yeah.
lighters. Yeah.
That movie was ahead of its time. I really feel like they weren't ready for the meta stuff and all that
Yeah.
kind of that
Yeah,
kind
it
of
was
stuff.
it was way too self-referential. And
Mhm.
like coming out after Terminator, like I think people really were hungry for more of that, like a little bit more straight kind of action. And Last Action Hero, I think, was like a decade ahead of its time, probably. Maybe
Oh yeah,
maybe
you got
more.
I mean, you got Sharon Stone making a cameo in it. Robert Patrick made a cameo. You got Danny DeVito from Twins as the cat.
It's the animated cat.
Yeah.
Like, I bet you didn't think I was gonna say that. You always say that.
Yep. Robert Patrick walks through there as like,
Yep.
Yeah, it's a good one though.
Yeah.
Remember Collateral Damage? Yeah, I remember Collateral Damage.
I'm trying to think if I've seen Color. I know the movie. I'm just trying to. It's been so long since I've seen. I don't know if I remember that one. Seeing that one. I don't think I own it.
I may not own that one. I own most. I may not own that one.
I don't think I have Collateral Damage.
No, because
Predator.
Schwarzenegger still got so many that haven't come to 4K. Like Stallone's having a moment right now.
Mm.
A lot of Stallone stuff. Isn't Over the Top coming?
Over the Top
That-
is
It's that I know it was coming overseas. I didn't know if it was. coming
Oh yeah, that's the overseas one, right? Yeah.
I thought I heard it was coming here too.
It
I don't know, I
should.
might have misread that.
I feel like that thing has VSU. You know how many copies they could sell the VSU of Over the Top? Like I think of that all the time. Like Over the Top, Iron Eagle, like some of these like that, they could sell.
I could totally see Iron Eagle being a VSU.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would work.
But would they just do the first one?
I don't know.
Vinegar Syndrome, they would only do the first one as a VSU if they were going to do it. They might do them all, but they would probably only.
Was there 3 of them, or there's a bunch of them, right?
There's Iron Eagle, Iron Eagle 2, Iron Eagle 3 is called Aces. It has like that extra title to it.
I've only seen the first 2, but I know there's like more.
Yeah, there's at least 3. I heard there's some kind of music problem rights with the first one, which it always cracks me up because it's like, wait, there's a DVD. Like what like we were talking about with the music rights. It's kind of crazy.
It's like they got to renegotiate for each format, and I don't know. It's like it's. I guess it makes sense in 1982 when you're like you're doing Little Darlings. You're not really thinking about like 4K, like 40 years later. But like when you're negotiating music rights for a DVD that's coming out in like 2005, you really probably at that point you probably should be like, yo, like we might issue this on some future home media format. Can we just like knock that out of the way here too? Like, let's just say in perpetuity or whatever. It just seems weird that a film could get hung up for future generations just because like, we used a John Lennon song. And Yoko Ono is a real ball breaker. She doesn't want to let us have it for less than $10 million. And we're not going to sell that many VSUs. So we're not giving Yoko Ono $10 million. We got to wait till she dies or some shit. She's like 97 or something.
It might also be a quantity thing too, because I know that's like that with art. Because Blockbuster Box Sets talks all the time about how like one of the things you could only make a certain amount to like he could only license up to like a certain amount.
Yeah, that
Reference
always depends on their contract.
their contracts. Yeah.
But then you have problems like, I was thinking about Can't Buy Me Love. We never got a Blu-ray or anything of that, but
Nope.
they play the Beatles song. They play Can't Buy Me Love.
It's in the title, you know.
Yeah, you can't not have that. So
Exactly.
Take Me Home Tonight doesn't have Take Me Home Tonight in the movie.
That's odd.
really,
Yeah.
Odd.
Doesn't they? I don't know if they could get the rights or not.
that's
That almost feels a little disappointing.
yeah,
It's kind of anticlimactic.
that's
Sorry,
kind
to
of
spoil that for you.
disappointing. I'm disappointed. I'm sad.
I'm actually going to go take that back to Bull Moose.
You haven't even
Talk
watched
me
it
to
yet.
buying that piece of shit.
Bishop of Bull Moose is he's making returns.
I resell shit to Bull Moose. Let me tell you the silly shit I do. I have bought used shit from Bull Moose and resold it to them so I could buy it brand new from them with the slipcover. I have done that shit.
Have you ever? I've returned shit. I've bought shit just for the slipcover and then returned it without the slipcover.
That's evil. But yeah, I thought about doing that.
That's evil, and I didn't think about it.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't exchange it for money. I exchange it for I just exchange it for like another movie.
Yeah, store credit. Yeah.
Yeah, store credit. I just
I've
buy
definitely
some.
thought about doing that. There are certain, some of them they wrap up they put the wrap around the slipcover as well. Like Arrow does this.
Yeah.
They put the wrap around the slipcover, so you have to unwrap it to get at the slipcover. But yeah, I mean,
I know
do what you
people at
gotta do for the
Walmart
slipcover.
because I think Walmart doesn't do that. I've heard people in my comments have told me that they just put the slipcover on another movie and go check out, but not every place does that where they put the slipcover outside the wrapper.
Yeah, not everybody does that.
Sometimes I wish they would just sell you the slipcover.
Yeah,
That's devious. Yeah, I mean, I think Vinegar Syndrome's like the only one that I can think of where you can get a slipcover by itself. Sometimes, not all the time, but
Don't you have to be a member or something just to
it's
do
a
that?
VSMC, but I buy shit from them anyway. It's free to be a member of their media club, so you get points for buying shit, which I'm going to do anyway. And after you accrue a certain number of points, you can get VSMC exclusive slipcovers, which are often for films that the LE is sold out. So some films like Christmas Evil, you can't get the slipcover anymore, but you can go, or you can't get the limited edition, but you can get the slipcover. Then you just buy the standard edition, and that's the only difference with Vinegar Syndrome.
mm-hmm.
So you just slip that bitch right in the.
That's me. I've got like 4,700 points. I'm like, that's enough for 3 slipcovers. They just got to hit the slipcovers that I need and want back there.
This is how fucked up I am in the head too, because you can use your VSMC points to save money. Like if you get enough points, they'll knock $10 off your order. Like you can just redeem the points for like $10-20 off your order. But instead of getting movies cheaper, I just buy slipcovers. I'm just like, oh, I don't have this one. Dead Heat, I need this one. You know what I mean? Like I'm just buying. I've bought shit because I'm like 30 points away from getting a slipcover. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to buy this t-shirt so I can get 30 points. And then I'm going to buy the fucking slipcover. Like,
yeah, I'm that way with the slipcovers. Because right now it's like, I've got 4,700 points. That's enough to get 3 slipcovers, but I could get $45 off my next purchase.
Yeah, but fuck that. I don't want the $45. I want the slipcover, dog. I'm fucked up in the head like that.
Like we were talking about, Jay, with Bobby Joe and the Outlaw. That was one of the most expensive Blu-rays I ever bought. I spent $70 years ago to get it out of print. Now it's coming back out with Kino.
Yeah.
I'm going to pay that $20 just to get it again with the slip.
I've done that a few times, but I've actually I've been burned a few times. I kind of learned like, hey, if this thing's been out of print for a little while, like somebody else is going to decide they want to rescue it.
That's why I'm waiting on Hot Moves.
Like
That's why I'm waiting on Hot Moves.
So retarded for the longest time.
Go to eBay and look up Code Red Blu-rays.
Yeah,
that's a company that doesn't exist anymore. But also, they have like the Cheerleaders. They have Hollywood Boulevard, which is a Roger Corman first Joe Dante film, which is another sexploitation film. They got all these like raunchy 70s and 80s comedies and stuff that are out of print. Code Red had all of them.
Yeah,
like all of them, and they're all on there for like anywhere from $30 to $300, and they're all out of print. But like somebody's got to pick those up, right? Because they had a Blu-ray from a boutique.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to get those,
I've
right?
been reading on Blu-ray.com forums. There's a Vinegar Syndrome thread, and a lot of people will speculate about stuff there. And Vinegar Syndrome being the type of company that might pick up some of that Code Red stuff, people have even been saying like some of the transfers, some of the stuff that they put out wasn't like, it didn't look that great, and that that maybe some of these films are not only due for re-release, but they're like due for remasters. So some people have been saying like Scream Factory might have picked some of them up. Some people are speculating Vinegar Syndrome, but like I think a lot of the users over there are expecting to see some of these Code Red films like start coming out from other boutiques.
Olive Films was like that too. A lot of people started picking up a bunch of Olive Films after they got.
Yeah.
I think who was it? Even Criterion released one or two Olive Films. Kino did too.
Yeah.
Kino needs to not. I've discovered that now. Wait till I'm gonna write my death sentence with Kino, because I don't like this route they're going where they're charging as much as everybody else, and now they're not really doing restorations. They're just scanning stuff.
Yeah.
They're scanning it in 4K and they're not doing any work to it. Like you can see on the
Summer Rental.
Well, yeah, but like I was putting some pictures in our group chat. Like I was looking.
Yeah,
and like the better ones, like Hard Target, that looks like reference quality. It says 4K restoration from the negative, and then the 4K scan. But then, like a lot of their new ones that people are like, this isn't looking so good, like Graveyard Shifts and all that. It's just a 4K scan. They're not doing any restoration work to them. So they're just picking the film up, scanning it through the machine into 4K digital space, and giving you what you got. They're not doing a new grade. They're not fixing anything on it. They're just
all that's doing is highlighting the imperfections even worse.
That's it.
Yeah, it's a high resolution image of the imperfection.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Any damage to the film print, whatever. I mean, that's
Meanwhile, you have like Screen Factory over here. They've started printing a new 2024 4K restoration and scan.
I'll tell you what year they did it. Yeah.
I think 88 does that too. I could be wrong, but I know 88 will tell you if they didn't restore it, they'll like recolor it, and they'll be like new restoration, but color graded by 88, or new 2024 transfer, or something. I like it when they put the year on it, but not everybody does that.
And I think something else that's nice, like whenever the boutique includes a booklet, as Arrow does with their limited editions, and Criterion includes a booklet. Vinegar Syndrome's hit or miss. Sometimes they do. Oftentimes they don't. But whenever a company includes that booklet, there's usually 2 pages near the back that'll say about the restoration, and it'll talk about like when and where that was performed by whom. With Madman, that was a restoration that was done in 4K by Vinegar Syndrome, and Arrow released it in the UK, and they actually wrote a blurb. I read the materials that came with that, and they actually thanked Vinegar Syndrome. They credited Vinegar Syndrome for the restoration. So they were pretty clear about where that came from, which I thought was good business.
I like that a lot. Just like when I reviewed Convoy from Imprint, like I loved, like at the beginning, after, like before the title card, they tell you when they did the restoration, who did which part of the restoration, how many hours they worked on it, like everything. They tell you where the scan was done, where the color grade was done, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, Kino feels like they're doing a pumping.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
that's a very like that. Those are wise words, Mr. Juggalo.
Yeah,
those are wise words indeed. I agree. Like I feel like Kino is just kind of throwing shit out there, and it's unfortunate because I've read so much about so many of their films that are, so even some of the ones that I own, like To Live and Die in LA and Miracle Mile. It's like I've heard bad things about the audio. I've heard bad things about the video. I've heard about corners being cut and how that winds up affecting like either the audio mix or restoration, color grading, stuff like that. And it's unfortunate. You just hear nothing but bad things about their 4K for Silence of the Lambs and how they fucked up the color grading in a large portion of that. And people are like, they're not, unlike, I give Scream a lot of shit, but I'll give them a lot of credit too. I have had to have discs replaced by them, maybe 2 or 3, so not that many. But when they do, it's easy. They create like a landing page for it. You go to the page, you click a link, you go to the page, you fill out your info, and like literally a week later, there's the disc in my mailbox. They make it so fucking easy. And they make it right. So I mean, nobody's perfect. Everybody issues. I feel like Arrow's having a hard time, but Kino's like the only ones that are just like, what do you mean? Like it's fine, you know, like go fuck yourself. Like
Yeah.
everybody else, I heard Arrow's kind of a bitch to deal with too, but you know,
Has Arrow still not addressed anything with the cell?
they haven't said shit. They pulled it off. So like, you know, if you go to Arrow and you like the Conan Chronicles, the 4K is sold out for the limited edition. So you go and you know you enter it in and you can see the product. And this is a year-old product, and it'll just say sold out. But if you type in the cell, you just see the Blu-ray. Like they don't even have the listing saying sold out for 4K. And so I'm pretty sure they just quietly like pulled that, and they'll put it back up quietly one day too, and it'll be the fixed version.
They haven't said anything about TCM too, and I put it. It will not play. It will not play in Dolby Vision.
Oh, really?
That's unfortunate. I've got that like in my cart at Grindhouse Video, and I just can't pull the trigger because I'm like, I'm gonna have to get a new disc, and particularly since it's like a UK only release, like I'm wondering if that's gonna be a problem since I'm US. Like they're like, you're not even supposed to be. We're not supposed to sell this to US resident, so like we can't hook you up with a disc. So I don't know. That's another one I'm gonna have to wait on.
It plays in HDR. Like you have to manually turn off, you know, the Dolby Vision. It plays in HDR. It looks good. I have it on Vinegar Syndrome, but you know, I bought it for the release and the extras and the stuff with it. So I'm not like heartbroken, but it's something that should be made right. They announced a replacement program will be in March. A rumor on that.
Sounds
Aren't they supposed to announce their new slate like soon, like this week? Maybe is that the rumor?
I think Friday.
Everybody should be announcing everything this weekend, like Fridays. I think Vinegar Syndrome's announcing theirs on Saturday.
Yeah,
because don't they usually do like a whole weekend thing?
Mm-hmm. I'll be out of the country, so I'm gonna miss I don't even know what's coming. Besides that one, I guess that got leaked tonight by Dawn of the Disc. Maybe that's coming.
Oh, the music one. Or
Murder Rock.
Murder Rock.
Murder Rock. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Booty Meat selling that one.
I almost called it Murder Boner, but that would have been embarrassing.
It was I mean, it's got your booty meat on the cover. There's no doubt about that cover will be very
wide. Like I had to look to see if she was naked at first. I was like, no.
Yeah, I thought she was naked. I had to zoom in on Instagram. I'm like trying to do the 2-finger zoom. Like ridiculous.
Yeah, because her leotard is like almost the same color as
and it's like kind of going up her butt crack. So I'm like,
they knew what they were doing with that.
Do they need to release? Do you know how many units they would sell if they did like a coffee table book of all of their like really sexualized drawings from all the I would buy that day one. I would pre-order that thing. No amount of money.
I wish more people would do that because like one of my favorite things is the Terrifier set came with that big thick ass booklet, right?
Yeah.
There's a whole portion of that's just pictures of all the posters, all the artwork he ever did. And I'm like, that is dope. The Robin Hood, I ordered the German box of the Adventures of Robin Hood from 1938. And that booklet has the same thing. I looked online to see if it was worth getting, and it was like all the old artwork that they had for that movie throughout the years.
Yeah, it's just a shame that like there's tons of great artwork that they commission. I mean, they pay for this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it mostly just sits on the shelf. Like, you know, you see it when you're interacting with the movie and you pull it off and you put it in and, you know, but I think like the coffee table book would be a great way to like get a little bit more bang for your buck. You've already commissioned the artwork. So like print it in like a 500-page, something that like you can lay open really easily too. That's like bound in such a way that you could, you know, open it and it would like lay open. And I don't know, man, I would buy that in a heartbeat. That'd be
I'm always trying to find a way to see it. Like that's why I've tried to set up stuff as much as I can with like some cool art turned out every now and then, you know, because shit, it looks cool. Like that's part of what I want to see. I want to see some of the art, not just like, not just the spines all the time. Like some of that cool stuff you want to look at. That's part of the fun.
Totally agree. Totally agree. Well, gentlemen, we are at 3 hours. This has been a real fucking treat to be able to do something live with you guys. I have to say,
Yeah, this was fun.
yeah, thank you both very much. You know, publicly, like privately, you guys are great guys to talk to, but like also publicly, this was a shit ton of fun.
Yeah, it was.
I haven't yet got the comment on your McLovin shirt yet either.
Oh yeah, I love that. My daughters think that's me. I'm like my 2-year-old who's like going to turn 3 in a couple months. She's like, "That's you." I'm like, "Yeah, that's me from like 20 years ago."
I am McLovin.
I'm like, "That's McLovin." She's like, "That's you." It's actually really fucking cute. Fucking cute kid.
You're like, just wait till you're old enough to see the movie.
Yeah. Eventually, I will. Like I keep telling my 5-year-old, I watched Howl's Moving Castle with her over the weekend. What day is it? I might have watched it with her yesterday because she likes the, I mean, they're into Disney and princesses and shit. But it's like, okay, you want to watch Sleeping Beauty again, but you've seen it 50 times. So like you get 15 minutes in and then you dick around. You're not even really watching the movie. Like, let's watch a few new ones. I got every Studio Ghibli steelbook. So I started her on those. Like I showed her Totoro. I showed the younger one Totoro as well, but like I waited till the younger one was napping to show her Howl's Moving Castle, just because there's a little bit more plot and talking and stuff. And so I got her through Howl's Moving Castle yesterday. It was awesome. And so I keep telling her, I'm like, as you keep getting older, like we're gonna keep getting into awesome films. Like I'll show you some gnarly shit when you get a little bit older.
Nice.
It's fun. That's fun.
So look, I have a strong feeling that all of the people who have been in our live chat are already familiar with your YouTube channels, but I do want to do the polite host thing and tell everybody who's watching or watching back after the fact, if you're watching this into the future, please visit youtube.com/@AVA-popculture and youtube.com/@The Last Movie Standing. There's a "the" in there. Don't fuck it up. Go subscribe to
my Chase. Don't mess up the Z.
Do
I have a Z? Do I have a THE in mine?
Yeah, it's at The Last Movie Standing.
I think Last Movie Standing was taken already. Nobody's using that, so I had to put the in it.
You had to put the in there. But I'm saying this so people don't fuck it up. Yeah. Go subscribe to my men's. Show them some love as well, in case you don't already do. Let's do it now. Let's get right. And that way the Pope will bless this union into the future, okay, if we produce any children.
The Wild Bunch is taking over physical media YouTube here. So.
Wild Bunch is coming for you, Ken. Coming for you. Fucking I see you. We're bringing Frank's Movies and Fuck Room along for the ride, too. Oh, yeah. My boys.
The Red Room.
The Red Room.
Yeah, exactly, man. That's a fuck room for sure. I know the smell of that room. I know what that carpet smells like. I lived in places like that. It's gnarly, y'all. I tell you what, that'll bring tears to your eyes like you're cutting onions. You know what I'm saying? Frank's Movies and Fuck Room. All right, everybody. Thank you guys for watching in the chat or watching it back after the fact. I love all you people. I want to kiss your faces. And go watch ICED with a fucking Miller Genuine Draft in your hand, because that's the way it was meant to be enjoyed. Any last comments from you, gentlemen?
I recommend a nice iced lube to go with it.
Iced lube?
Iced lube. It's a thing.
It's a thing.
Some pie and a carrot.
Hey, there's American pie and a carrot. Yeah, and a carrot. Eat a carrot. What's up, Doc?
Hells yeah. Peace, motherfuckers.
See you.